Hello and welcome back for another episode of Canada's Movie and TV Hosers. I'm one of your hosts, Gregory Barry, and this is my lovely wife, Christine.
Hi, everybody.
And we got the star of our show here, Fluffy Kitty. She's a little bit tired out today for some reason. No energy.
Sun for once.
Yeah, that's pretty good. We've been having some good weather here. So this is a show where we talk about all things in fandom that we love, new and old movies, TV shows, streaming, trailers, also different types of books. Breaking down today's show, what we're going to do is we're going to be discussing a couple of trailers. We got the Meg 2 trailer. And we got
doing that.
And we got a second trailer for Oppenheimer that just came out a week ago. You're going to be doing a review for Love Again.
Yep. And
then I'm going to do a review for Book Club The Next Chapter because I just had to go see that this weekend. We're both gonna do a spoiler review for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, which we both saw last weekend. I'm doing a review for Sisu, the new movie that came out. It was in limited release a couple weeks ago. We just got it here last weekend. Reviewing a newer episode of Barry Season 4. Then we got our Into the DCEU segments. This time we're getting a big helping of justice. So much justice in this one. And then we got Harry Potter, our fifth segment. These movies are getting really weird for me. And then we'll have some time, we'll get into some more Star Trek stuff.
Okay.
So let's start off today with, and if we have time, we'll do some comments. Let's start off today with the trailer that we just watched for new Jason Statham movie, The Meg 2, The Trench. Are you excited for this, dear?
No.
What did you think of the trailer?
Ridiculous.
More?
I mean, it looks like a fun action movie, but the premise is ridiculous. Yes, we don't know all the creatures that are in the sea, but the fact that there could be 3 megalithic, giant, humongous sharks out there is very narrow because they're predators and they would be seen.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, give me a Loch Ness monster instead, and I'd be happy.
It's just like in the first one because they let it out and they have to hunt it down.
I mean, Jurassic Park makes sense because they genetically created the creatures, but this doesn't make much sense to me. And the thing is humongous, okay? Like,
yeah, it's been down there all this time.
No. Maybe there's some plesiosaurs somewhere in the ocean. I'd like to think that. I mean, we haven't seen everything in the ocean. But I don't think these things are out there.
Did you see the first Meg?
No, it's definitely not my kind of thing.
It's not saying that these things are out there. This is just a fun story.
I just can't do it. It's just too fake for me. I'm
gonna go see it. The first one was really dumb. It's Jason Statham fighting a giant dinosaur shark.
Why make him fight something more realistic?
He even punches it in the first one. It's ridiculous.
Or let him, I don't know, have some real sharks, I guess, to do it. I don't know. It just seems silly.
I don't know.
Know why they even made a movie
It's way over the top. It's supposed to be ridiculous and funny. So I'm going to check it out. Are you going to come with me to go see the Meg?
No. I do not want to see that. I just can't. It's so anti-science.
They're going to keep making them as long as people keep going to see them.
I just won't be going to see it. It's not my thing. Anyway.
Okay. Let us know your thoughts on the Meg 2 trailer. Are you going to go see it? Did you see the first one? Maybe you hated it. Maybe it's just not your thing. Looks pretty silly to me, so I'll check it out and report back if it's any good. Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below, please. Next trailer, we got Oppenheimer. We got a second trailer for Oppenheimer. We get to see Matt Damon all on this one.
Yeah, I haven't seen Matt Damon in the other ones.
What are your thoughts on this?
The first trailer, a lot of times at the movies, they've been playing it, and they have a countdown trailer, and you're trying to figure out what the countdown is for.
It's for the first test.
I don't know. I guess it looks interesting. I don't really know the story of Oppenheimer, so I guess I'll go see it. But I kind of a little bit wary of celebrating something that's so destructive. Okay. But regardless,
are you excited to go see it because it's Christopher Nolan?
I'm not really excited, but I don't know enough about Oppenheimer, so I'll go to see it.
You're a big Christopher Nolan fan.
I just like the Batmans. Anyway, I don't know. It looks
No,
well
that's not
done.
true. You like all his other films
I
too.
do? I don't
You
even
like
know what his
Memento,
Yeah, I like Memento. I didn't even know that was his film.
Prestige,
Didn't see. I don't think I saw that one.
Inception.
It was okay. I like the interesting, twisty things. It was visually cool. You don't like his stuff.
No, I don't like his stuff.
I don't know. I like Memento for sure. I own Memento. You don't like Memento. I do know
No,
that.
I'm not a really big Christopher Nolan fan.
That was one of the first movies we ever watched together because I own it. You're like, I hate this movie.
Yeah.
Like, this movie is amazing. I love it.
It is for you, but not for me. And also, I don't like Guy Pearce.
Anyway.
Are you excited to go see this one? Are you going to go see Oppenheimer when it comes out?
I am going to go see it. I don't know if I call it excited, but it does look good. But I don't know if I should be excited about a movie about so much destruction. But I want to know more about it because I really don't know much about it.
Okay. Are you a big fan of Matt Damon, Cillian Murphy, Emily Blunt? Any of the people in it?
Good performances. I don't know.
Okay. Comes out in July.
It looks like it's done well. It definitely looks done well, and there's been a lot of promotion for it, so I think it's probably a good film because they've really been pushing it. Every time I go to the movies, I think I see a preview for this, and it's been happening for a while.
Yeah, they've been promoting it for a while, which is kind of weird that they've been promoting it so long. Studios stopped promoting. Like they were promoting movies a year in advance of them coming out, and people would just forget. So now they only promote them, a few months out.
Not this one. It's been I've seen it at the theater quite a few times. Anyway, it looks well done. I want to go see it because I'm kind of ignorant about the whole Oppenheimer thing. I mean, I know he made the bomb and everything, but I don't know much about it. So I hope it's a true story. I'm not
excited for this.
Okay.
I have my own bias. I'm not a fan of Christopher Nolan movies. This is probably going to be at least 3 hours.
I don't care how long it is, as long as it's good. I mean, it's a story they got to tell, I guess.
I enjoy his The Dark Knight. That's really good. The other two of his Dark Knight trilogy, Batman Begins and Dark Knight Rises, yeah, they have some good things from it. I wouldn't say they're great for me. I mean, just like all of his movies, they're too long. I don't like a lot of his other movies. Even if other people do, that's great, but they're not really for me. And his last movie, Tenet, which is your favorite movie of the pandemic.
I didn't like that one.
So
I didn't know that was.
I didn't enjoy that one at all.
I didn't like it the second time either.
I'm not really looking forward to this.
This, to me, looks well done. But I want to go see it just because I feel like I don't know enough about the topic and it looks well presented. So
I'm going to go see it.
Well, you go to
but
see everything.
I'm going, because that's why yes, some of his stuff has been good and others has been mostly misses for me.
I definitely will try to go to see this.
Dunkirk was pretty good.
Oh, you like Dunkirk? I haven't seen that, but I heard it was very good. And I think it won a lot of awards.
I didn't like Interstellar.
I didn't
that
mind
wasn't
it,
for me.
But I don't like
I didn't like Inception.
What's
The Prestige.
Interstellar name. I don't care for him that much.
Matthew McConaughey?
Yeah.
Oh, right on.
I don't care for him that much.
Insomnia, Memento. Yeah, not really my thing.
I love Memento.
Okay, but if you like them, leave a comment down below and let us know what you like from those movies.
I recommend you go.
I'm going to go see this. I hope it's good because I hope every movie's good.
Try to get a hold of Memento. I don't even know where you could see it anymore. I really think it's great.
Yeah, and that would be another reason why I have physical media, except I don't own the movie Memento because it's not for me. See?
And it's really cool too. It comes in this really cool. They actually did a really cool version of it too. Mm-hmm. It's not in a real case.
Yeah, because once they take it off streaming, if it's not available anywhere, you don't get to watch it.
Well, we can watch it anytime we want, although you don't like it.
Let us know. Are you excited to see Oppenheimer? Are you going to go see it in IMAX? If you do, just fair warning, it's going to be really loud. So maybe don't take the kids, okay? Especially if they're afraid of loud noises. And if you don't like that, don't go see it in IMAX because it's going to be super loud. I'm going to go see it and report back. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, please. Next, we're going to move on to your movie review for Love Again.
Yeah, I went to see it. I really kind of went into it probably with a more negative outlook. Yeah. But I thought I should go see it because Celine Dion is one of our queens of Canada.
I guess.
I should go see it.
I wasn't excited to go see this, and I was actually going to go with you, but then I'm like, nah, I'd rather watch TV. It's got a 24% critic rating currently and a 92% audience score, so...
I really liked it.
I thought it would be better for you to go see it.
I liked it. Listen, it's not an action movie. It's a romantic movie.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is. So if you don't feel comfortable with romantic movies, don't go to see it.
Well, it's not that I'm uncomfortable with it.
It's a girl movie, I'd say.
It didn't look good to me.
I was really surprised. I thought it had much more depth than I was expecting.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of these romantic, or I don't want to call it a romantic comedy.
This is just a straight romance.
It's a sad romance. Yeah.
Okay. Says it has comedy in it.
I have not appreciated a lot of the romantic movies or like ones on TV. I think they're really sad. I just don't like them a lot of the time. But I did really enjoy this. I thought poor Celine was in there, and it was all about talking about her husband. And it's spoiler, it's about death and kind of getting through the death of a loved one. Mm-hmm. Is kind of what it's about.
Yeah, that's what I got from the trailer.
Yeah.
It was about this girl texting a number of her dead boyfriend.
Yeah.
And this guy who got the new number, because numbers get recycled all the time, he gets it, and he's getting all these messages, and then it's...
Right. The only thing that I didn't like about it was I don't know if Sam Heughan's character was believable or not. He acted a lot like a girl.
So he was more metrosexual then.
Yeah, I don't know. He wasn't, maybe he wasn't that believable.
Maybe that's what audiences want to see.
But, everyone wants to see him anyway, because he's handsome. But that's the only thing. But I find Priyanka Chopra, I have found her very irritating in other things. And that was the only thing really, I didn't know if I should go see it, because I found she talks so slow in other things. But I found her great in this. I didn't find any issues with her performance like that.
What is this guy from?
From Outlander.
He's from Bloodshot? He should probably take that off his resume.
He's from Outlander. He's Jamie Fraser from Outlander. You don't know what that means, but people that watch Outlander do. Anyway, I thought it was really nice, especially if you've had a spouse or a boyfriend or fiance that has passed away. You might start crying at this. But anyway, I thought it was nice.
Is it as sad as This Is Us?
No.
It's not that sad?
But I don't like to cry in public, but it made me teary. Put it that way. There you go.
You never cry at a movie.
Anyway.
Even at home.
But Celine, is getting through stuff still because she has, I think, 2 kids, young kids, and she doesn't have a father for them anymore. And anyway, it was about that. And she just plays herself in it. She's not acting.
She any good?
Oh, she's playing herself. She does her best. But...
Okay. That doesn't sound like a ringing endorsement.
Well, I mean, she's not an actress, but it's about her songs and her music. I'm not a giant fan of her music, but I do recognize her talent for sure, that she can sing. And they have some of her songs in it. Mm-hmm. And I think it was really nice. I think it's a nice bring your mom for Mother's Day, even though you might not like it, but your mom probably like it.
That's a good suggestion, actually.
It's a good Mother's Day one, because I think moms will like it. There's nothing too harsh or anything in it. And, I thought it was much better than I had anticipated. I came out with a good feeling about it.
So it's better than the 24% the critics gave it.
I think they're just cynical. It's not a cynical movie. You just have to, go with it, It's about love and believing in love, and this character, Sam Heughan's character, just kind of, he falls for a girl.
What rating would you give this?
I don't know, probably like a 88, 89, because it's only like a love movie. It's not like a mega giant purposefulness movie or anything like that. But I liked it. I liked it much better than I thought I was going to.
Okay, I'm surprised. I'm surprised by your response, because I was kind of putting off seeing this, so I didn't bother.
Well, I don't think it's for you that much.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to romance movies if they're good, but most of them are just kind of garbage.
It's not much of a comedy.
Okay.
It's not much. There is a couple of jokes in it, but it's way more just like a romantic and it's a loss movie.
I'm not really a fan of romantic comedies either, but there have been a couple of good ones, you know, like
we like that
Wedding Crashers
and Beach?
Palm Springs?
Palm Springs. That one was real fun. That was funny.
Yeah, it's also sci-fi.
Yeah, but this one is not genres. Anything like that. Like it's just there's no surreal.
So we got to move on. That's So Christine really likes it. I have no opinion on it because I haven't seen it. Just the trailers did nothing for me, so I couldn't bother. Right. So let us know your thoughts down in the comments below, please, and might read those out on a future episode. Next, we're going to go into book club. So I don't have a lot to say on this.
That movie?
I went to go see Book Club the Next Chapter.
You ever been in a book club?
No. Have you?
I was, and guess what? They kicked me out when I had a kid. That was their policy.
That's an interesting club.
Anyway, so
I went to go see this because that was the new movie that opened here this weekend. This is kind of a lull weekend. Next weekend we're getting Fast X.
Ooh.
But this weekend the big new movies are Blackberry.
Oh, I want to see Blackberry.
Knights of the Zodiac.
Canadian engineers know what they're doing. There's a real knock on Canadian engineers in the trailer.
Yeah.
I was like really insulted. My engineer family was insulted.
Really?
I'm sure.
I was laughing at it.
Some Canadian engineers know what they're doing.
This might even be a Canadian film.
Well, it's got Jay Baruchel in it. He's Canadian.
Oh yeah, the guy from How to Train Your Dragon.
He's Canadian.
Yeah, that's him right there. He's blonde.
It's got a good score so far.
Anyway, we're not talking about Blackberry.
Sorry, I want to go see that one. If it's coming out this weekend, I might try.
We're talking about Book Club.
Oh, Book Club. We're talking about Book Club. Sorry. I'm just a little bit resentful of book clubs.
So, I went to go see this. I saw the first one in 2018.
You did?
Yeah, I did. I'm like, it was a fun story. It's a fun story and didn't really do anything for me. No. I'm like, this is more for more experienced, mature women than me, okay?
Yeah.
I mean, it's women in their 70s, right?
Yeah, that's what it's for. I don't even think it would be for me. Well, I'm not the audience because I have to think about
This currently has a 51% critic rating and an 85% audience score.
Right.
So the audiences that are going to see it are enjoying it, but most general audience members are not going to see this.
Is it like, do you feel like if you're an older woman, you could feel like you're part of the gang and go on this spectacular trip with them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is another good movie for Mother's Day. So that's why this is coming out.
Right.
That's not why Blackberry is coming out. Take your mom to go see Blackberry.
Listen,
about a bunch of Canadian engineers.
I never had one, but people say the Blackberry was the best device, and they really miss their Blackberries.
Yeah, that was compared to the terrible flip phones that everyone used to have.
Today, we just have like this flat, big. This thing is heavy and it's big, you know. Anyway, it does seem like it was a superior product. I never did have one, but anyway, don't knock those Canadian engineers.
This is a nice story. Book Club the Next Chapter. Take your mom to go see it for Mother's Day. There's some funny jokes in it, you know. It's humor that she'll enjoy.
Yeah.
It's not really for me. This movie didn't speak to me that much. It wasn't boring.
No.
Okay. It passed the time. It kept my interest.
Okay.
It was fun.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you got Diane Keaton, Jane Fonda.
Yeah. Who else is in it?
Candice Bergen.
Yeah.
And Mary Steenburgen. I think it's Steenburgen. Pretty sure on that one there.
That's how you say it. Anyway.
She is from.
It looks fun.
Steenburgen. My mistake. She's from.
Steenburgen.
People would know her from genre stuff. She was Doc Ock's love interest in Back to the Future 3.
Think that's how people think of her. But anyway.
That was the first time I saw her.
I've seen her in lots of things.
Yeah, she's been in tons of things. It's a fun movie, you know. It's as I said, more mature women. They're having a good time. This time they're taking their book club to Italy, and they're having adventures there in Italy.
That's a nice book club. I wish I would have joined that book club and not the one that I was a member
Well,
of.
the reason they're going there is because one of their friends she's getting married.
Oh.
So they're taking her there for a trip for...
Well, I guess she's not going to have a kid. She's in her 70s.
Instead of having a stagette, they're taking her on a bridesmaid trip to Italy because they always want to go.
That'd be fun.
So the four of them are going, you know. One of them's married, but she leaves her husband behind. The other one's getting married. The other one is a widower, and the other one's single, and her cat just died.
So there's no men. It's the women on the tear out in Italy somewhere.
Yeah, in their 70s.
Well, they can have fun.
Sure, let them have fun, and they do.
Good.
So it's a fun story. It's not something I'm probably ever going to watch again because I didn't watch the first one again. I can only have like very few glimpses of, you know. I remember they were reading those 50 Shades of Grey books, and they were enjoying that. And then one of them got into a relationship.
Okay,
so
that's what happened.
That's Diane Keaton's character.
Right.
So this one's not as much about her.
No.
But it's a good time. I'm not really going to say much more on that because...
It's what you expected. You got what you expected. Good.
Yeah, exactly. So if you're looking to take mom out, take her to see Book Club, the next chapter, or Love Again.
If you want to make her cry, maybe take her to Love Again.
Yeah, if you want to make your mom cry, take her to Love Again. If you want her to have a fun time and be happy with you, you can take her to see Book Club, the next chapter. And you won't be sitting there. And if you know what, if you don't like it, just snooze. It's an hour and 47 minutes.
Nice.
Mom will be happy. If you do end up going seeing either one of those, let us know down in the comments below. We want to hear from you. So next we should go talk about the big movie for this month so far. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. We both saw it. I did a spoiler-free review.
Oh, okay.
So now we can spoil this. This movie is currently rated at 82% certified fresh, which is pretty good for critics. I think it's the lowest of the three movies, and it's got a 95% audience score. So audiences are really enjoying it.
Yeah.
I had a really good time with this. And the subsequent viewing when I took you to go see it, I enjoyed it even more. In fact, the music is growing on me more.
I thought it was great.
Okay.
I think it was different.
So spoilers. I'm going to put the warning up.
I thought it was great. It was very sad. But I think they should have doubled down and made it more sad at the end. I think they should have had the courage to kill off a couple of characters.
I disagree on that, but go ahead.
I think they should have. Because it's kind of lame just saying they're going to leave. I think they should have killed off one of them.
They're moving on to a different part of their life.
I know, but they had such high stakes in this. And end up, what did they kill? The otter and the bunny spider and the walrus wheel, which were really sad. It was really sad that they ended up in distorted animal heaven. Anyway, it was much different because it was a much sadder note. Peter's a wreck. In this movie, though, he comes to terms, it appears, with Gamora and her
that he's lost his Gamora.
New personality or whatever. Yeah, we see him. So this movie deals a lot with loss and that kind of thing. What different big departure. Really.
If you saw Guardians the first one, and then you saw the second one, okay, when they're supposedly fallen in love by the end of the second one, and then you didn't see Guardians in Infinity War or in Endgame.
I get it all mixed up now.
Okay, would you be lost if then you went into Guardians Volume 3? I can say you could easily skip the holiday special, which by the way was great.
I like the holiday special.
Yeah, it was really good, but it's not necessary. It's just a fun romp.
You don't need to really see any of it to start this. You might be curious as to what Rocket's really like, though, I suppose. I mean, you have questions. You don't know what a Groot is or what we find out what Rocket is, and he's what we thought. Yeah. Basically, in this movie, he is a changed raccoon. He is a raccoon, and he has been altered, which is what we always assumed, but then we weren't sure.
Yeah, we know.
I mean, you're in a universe with flurkins and stuff, so you don't really know.
I know he is because he's Rocket Raccoon. That's his name.
I know, but there was been other statements made that he doesn't think he's a raccoon or that he didn't like that. So now he's actually come to terms with his raccoonness.
I think you could actually just jump in in
You
this
can,
movie,
but you
even
might
if not having
understand
seen anything.
what
I think
Groot
you'd
is
be able to
doing.
pick up a lot of things,
Yeah.
and it's fun.
I think so
Did
too.
you like the ongoing joke with Groot in this movie? I really enjoyed that.
Which one?
The fact is, all he says is, "I am Groot."
All the time.
But,
and I guess if you're new
all
to
the
these, you don't
Guardians
get it.
have been with him
Oh,
so
yeah,
long.
yeah.
They understand what he's saying. And Gamora is like, "Wait, how? He said his name's Groot," and she keeps yelling at him, "I know what your name is," but she's not realizing that he's speaking to her, and she doesn't understand it, and she thinks they're all making it up.
Right, but in the end, she does understand, because I'm more like she's accepting her new reality as well, and when she does go home, that's her home now.
Yeah, she's with the Ravagers for
and
right
they
now.
Really, well, it seems to be they really missed her, as if how much the Guardians missed her.
No, definitely.
But in the end, she does understand Groot. And in the end, I think we understand Groot. And that was the cute joke, that we understand Groot as well.
Yeah.
So, it's not that he really spoke. It's the fact that
we understand
what he means. Anyway, I really enjoyed it. I thought the story was really good. It was going to make kids cry. I don't think it's as much like kids are going to get upset about it. It
deals with some heavy topics because it's got 3 big themes, like it's teaching people that are bad, okay? So, caging animals and animal experimentation is bad. And animal testing and animal cruelty is bad.
Yeah, like, especially the little otter with her metal things. Just, it was upsetting. Anyway, the animals were upsetting.
Do you notice how the villain,
he's really bad,
the High Evolutionary, I can't believe they did the High Evolutionary.
Well, in this
so
series,
obscure.
You could do anything.
No one knows who the High Evolutionary
we do now.
is.
He's really bad in this.
The way he acts as if he's a child. Every time someone argues with him, he just starts screaming and throwing a tantrum.
Insane.
Yeah. But he acts as a child does.
In my mind, he acts like
he just starts screaming and throws a tantrum, and then sometimes he acts out violently, and other times not. But he's ridiculous.
More insane because we know now that Rocket destroyed his face and everything, and he has to wear that skin all tied on now.
Kind of had that coming to him.
No, but that's why he's even more insane now. I mean, he's an insane creature. Yeah, I didn't really have any. I mean, he's bad, and he's really bad. And,
definitely.
We definitely see that. They don't. He's really bad.
With the little bit of screen time that he's given for that character,
he's in it quite a bit.
Yes, he is, but he's not in the whole movie. He's not the main star. For the time that he's given, the director James Gunn shows like this person hate this person, and here's why.
Right. I think they could have had more fun with the Animal Planet. I think they could have had way more fun with that. The Other Earth. What was it called? Counter Earth?
Yeah, Counter Earth. Yeah. But it was the movie was already kind of long.
I think they could have just made
2.5 hours.
More funny. They could have done some other funny things with it. I think that could have been funnier. That's the one thing I didn't like about it. Another thing I didn't like about it, I didn't think that the music was to the caliber. Some of the songs were okay, but especially that last song when they were dancing. I don't even know what the heck that song. Listen, they were really
know what that song was?
Dancing Up a Storm to that song. I bet you they played a different song and asked them to dance, and then they put that one over it, because I don't even know what that was.
Hey, it's James Gunn's movie, so I'm sure he was allowed to put whatever music he wanted in it.
If you could pick any song you wanted from the 70s and 80s and early 90s, it went to the 2000s, then you pick those songs?
No, this is music from the 70s to the 2000s.
Yeah, so that's a lot of songs.
That song
feel like
is...
they basically cheaped out on the music, is what I felt.
The song is Dog Days Are Over.
Who is it by?
I'm not sure.
It wasn't very good. It was like a generic pop song in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I felt the music really I don't know what the story is there, but I have a feeling that their music budget got cut.
I don't think so. It's by Florence Plus the Machine.
Okay.
Apparently
I have
it's
heard
from
of them,
like in the early 2000s.
I have heard of them, but I don't think that song warranted that.
I've never heard of them.
I don't know how they even danced to that song like that. Anyway, I
Okay.
didn't care for the music. That was the one thing I didn't like about it.
Okay,
But
some of the
everything else
music
I
choices you didn't like.
liked.
What else? Tell us what you liked.
I just said what I liked.
Okay.
I liked the movie. Those are the only two things I didn't like. And I think they should have killed somebody
I
off.
enjoyed the characters. I like the fact that they didn't kill anyone off in this movie because they've been doing that too much in Hollywood, and that's why you don't have good villains in Marvel because they're killing them off all the
They
time.
weren't the villains.
In the comic books, okay, they've been using the same villains for decades, and they do
villains.
that without killing them off.
I'm talking about Peter.
And also, you don't need to kill off the heroes either. This was a good ending to this version of the Guardians. They've spent all this time together, but now they have reason to move on. Some of them are staying together, and some of them are going off to do their other things. So, Drax is leaving because Dave Bautista doesn't want to work for Disney anymore. Okay? He's pissed off at them. Star-Lord's going to visit his dad. He could come back and do more. I mean, you could bring back Zoe Saldana for more Gamora stuff. And she's hanging out with the Ravagers. Then she goes back and hangs out with the Guardians again.
I killed off Peter. I really think they should have, because it was just kind of lame.
No, I like that they're still together. We still got Rocket and Groot, who are two of the most popular characters. And in terms of getting the voices, those are expensive characters to have, both Rocket and Groot, because they're visual effects. That's a lot of CGI. So that's a lot of money. Now, as for the actors doing those voices, no problem. And if you need people to stand in, that's no problem. You just get people that are the right height, and you get them to stand in for them in mocap suits.
The whole somber, if you think about it, like who did they kill? These poor tortured animals. Anyway, I just thought they should have...
And the point of this movie is to say, that is bad, that's wrong.
I think they should have killed off one of those other characters because they just left.
I don't think it was necessary.
It was too easy.
This is more like comic book storylines.
Okay.
And so now they're breaking up, they're going their own ways. Team could come back together. Maybe not. Maybe just different iterations, and that's cool. We'll get more stuff. Maybe we'll see Zoe Saldana back with Stallone, and who else is in there? It's like Michelle Yeoh's in there, and there's a whole bunch of them. And then we see those guys off as Guardians Volume 4. They could absolutely do that, and I would watch that.
They're not really Guardians, but anyway.
Maybe some of the other characters pop up in a cameo every once in a while. Maybe one of them comes back and joins the team. It's an ongoing soap opera.
This is a superior movie to so many others, and I just think it would have been great. That would have been the cherry on top if they would have had the better music. But other than that, I think it's an excellent movie.
Getting back to my review, I enjoyed a lot of the music. Not so much on the first go, but some of it really warmed up to me. I mean, the one sequence with Beastie Boys, No Sleep Till Brooklyn, that's probably the best sequence I've seen in any Guardians movie. That was really fun, and there was lots of action, and the music was great. So that was a great montage there for me. I really enjoyed that. Some of the other songs that I enjoyed, I mean, the movie starts off with that acoustic version of Creep by Radiohead. Yeah. And Rocket singing that. That was a great opening there. Okay. And you see all the other characters in the background. And then there's the joke between Kraglin and Cosmo, the whole episode that gets started right at the beginning with the arrow.
I didn't remember what that guy's name was.
That dog, she was so upset. She was called a bad dog. She was so upset.
Never say that to your dog. You know, if you say that to your dog, the tail's going to go between their legs and everything. Okay. Well, we don't have a dog.
Well, she was kind of being a dick, so. But that was great. I enjoyed the ongoing running gag with Mantis, that she kept landing on her head or floating the wrong way.
She's not physical like the other characters.
She's doing some martial arts and gymnastics in this, but whenever she's in space or something or there's zero gravity, she is always just floating the wrong way, and it happens more than once. She lands on her head.
Oh, I know. They don't talk about it.
I'm fine.
But, there's all kinds of cool, nice little jokes like that and
comedy.
Fun things in it. It's really fun, although it's depressing and it's upsetting in some parts.
I wouldn't say it's depressing. It gets emotional.
Little animals were
gets emotional, and you feel for them, but I wouldn't say it's depressing because at the end of the day, they save the animals. Okay?
Not all of them.
They save the animals. They even save those giant, ugly, tentacle mouth things.
They do not save the sweet, loving animals that we grow to love in the film.
Okay, yeah, those ones died.
Go to
but then they
animal
saved
heaven.
all the other ones that were on the ship.
They weren't
and it
altered animals.
Okay, and instead of thinking it, at the end of the movie, you're supposed to think it was nice that Rocket got to see his friends again. Because he had a near-death experience.
I suppose so.
Okay, that's what you're not supposed to. You're supposed to focus on the good, not the bad. Stop being so negative.
There's nothing wrong with a movie having these sad and deep elements. I'm saying it was really good. It's just not where these movies have gone before.
Did you think my analogy was good in my spoiler-free review, where I said if you can't handle seeing Bambi's mom die, you can't handle this movie?
Yeah, exactly. It's there's some really sad parts to it.
If you can't handle Bambi's mom, then you're gonna fall apart in this movie as well.
Anyway, I thought it was good. I was just surprised that they went there. I was surprised that they did it. Anyway.
Yeah, it didn't seem like something that would be for young kids, right?
This isn't really.
I think young kids could handle it.
I don't think so. No.
Okay.
No, it's too much.
Well,
maybe just show them part of the movie and then let them
It's rated PG-13, so it really depends on the kid.
It definitely is. It's very upsetting what happens. So, I mean, but it has a lot, the movie has a lot in it. I think it was really good. I like all the Guardians movies, and this one is just a departure, meaning that it has these really sad parts to it. But anyway, I thought it was really good, though.
I enjoyed seeing more Nebula. We got to see a lot more of her, so that was great.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, Mantis is palling around. I didn't see as much of Drax in this, but Dave Bautista's kind of fed up with this role. You notice how he's not walking around with his shirt off anymore.
I suppose I mean,
the makeup that's a horrendous process he'd have to go through. Also, the guy he's not as young as he used to be, right? He's been saying for a while he doesn't want to have to take roles where he have to walk around with his shirt off all the time.
Yeah. I miss
because it's hard.
I miss Peter's his joking and his character. He's been altered, right? He's not the same anymore. I miss that.
It's not easy to look that good a shape there.
It's way more on the sad end of things. He's not doing well.
He's in his 60s.
Not Dave Bautista. I'm talking about the other guy. Anyway, he's always funny, and I enjoy his character, Drax. He's always funny.
No, he's not in his 60s yet, but he will be.
I don't think it doesn't seem like 60. Anyway, it's good, but it's not what the other couple movies. It's much darker. Yeah, but sometimes you have to go there and get a good film out of it. Really.
First, I watched this. I didn't think it was. I thought it was better than Guardians 2. But I think I was leaning more towards 1. Now, maybe, I'm not so sure. I might have to rewatch the whole series.
Oh, we should.
To decide which is my favorite. But this one was really good. And so it's definitely deserving the high praise that it's got.
What are the ratings of it?
Oh, I mentioned that 82% critic rating, 95% audience score.
I think that's a low critic rating because I think it was really good. It had a lot of stuff in it. Maybe they wanted someone to die at the end, too.
Yeah, critics may have just said it's more of the same.
I didn't think it was more of the
same. But I enjoyed the fact that they didn't. In fact, they could even bring back the High Evolutionary again. He could have gotten off that ship.
I don't want to see him
exactly
again.
Why you want to bring him back, because he's a good villain. So I could definitely see that. On the internet rating system, best or worst movie, I definitely give this a best movie ever. Go check this out in the theaters. This is where you want to see it. It's an experience. I saw it in IMAX both times, 2D. Most of the viewings are in 3D. I don't want to see that. So when we went to the 2D screening, it was packed.
Yeah, it was packed. I didn't really like that. But I definitely give this one a 95, 96. I think all these Guardians movies have been excellent. And I'm so glad because I don't want bad. I'm worried sometimes. Some of their other treatment of some of the other characters have been really poor, but really good. But don't take a young kid to it.
It's because it's James Gunn. He knows how to make good movies. So hopefully his next movie that we're getting is really good because that's the new Superman movie we're going to get.
Oh, God. Another Superman movie. I'm very weary now after those other couple there.
Okay. Let us know what you think of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Even if you disagree. If you don't like it, let us know what you didn't like about it. We always want to hear from more people. My next review is for the new episode of Barry, Season 4, Episode 5. It's called Tricky Legacies. I just finished watching this, and so this is going to be a spoiler review for anyone there. If you're watching this as part of the episode, you can skip to the next chapter if you don't want it to be spoiled, but I'm going to put up the spoiler warning. So this is more of what happened at the end of the last episode, where it seems to have jumped 8 years into the future. And so now this is this whole thing. I'm not quite sure I'm buying this, that this is real, or if this is just, I think it was Barry's dream, but I don't know. It's kind of weird that the longer it goes on for, the more you think they actually just jumped 8 years into the future. So I guess they got an 8-year-old kid or a 7-year-old kid. Sally doesn't really look any older. They just make her wear this crappy wig and some bad makeup. Barry looks older, and now he's calling himself Clark, and I can't remember what Sally's calling herself now. But I don't know. They got a 7-year-old kid, and they're homeschooling him, so he's kind of weird, and they won't let him interact with other people, so that's not good. And Sally's just drinking all the time, which makes me think maybe this is real. I don't know. I'm still not quite buying it. It was quite good. And also we get to see Gene Cousineau, who's older, and now he's got this weird long white Jesus hair look and beard too. He's going to see the head of Warner Brothers, so current head of Warner Brothers is David Zaslav. I guess he's trying to get a meeting with him. He just shows up on the lot. It makes sense. They would go to Warner Brothers. HBO is owned by Warner Brothers, so they can just shoot there on their studio lots. Didn't really quite enjoy this episode as much as I was enjoying other episodes. Maybe it was because we didn't get to see any of Fuchs or Moss, or we didn't find out if there's any more story to tell with that Vanity Fair writer who's now only speaks German. I mean, we saw Gene Cousineau in the future, but we didn't get to see what happened to him, whether he was stuck up there or what happened with his son, because he shot his son at the end of the last episode. I don't know. I don't know if I buy this, that this is that suddenly it's just this jump in the future and this actually happened, or if this is just an alternative. I still think maybe it's Barry's dream for what it is, but we'll see. Taking a different turn. We still got 3 episodes to go. As for what they're doing, I mean, Sally drinking and working at the diner, and there's that creepy guy. There's that loser there. It looks like he lives out of his car. Yeah. This wasn't really winning me over, so I didn't really enjoy this episode as much. Anyway, I'm still on board. Hopefully this it picks up in the next episode, and I still think it's gonna have a good ending there. And the show's just been fantastic. What do you think about the new episode, Barry Season 4, Episode 5? Are you still into it, or did this one throw you off like me? Maybe you really loved it. Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Probably read those out on a future episode. Now I'm going to review Sisu, which came out, it just came out here this past weekend, but apparently this is from 2022. It is, let's see what studio is bringing us this. Lionsgate, Sub-Zero Film Entertainment, original language, this is in Finnish. Okay, so maybe they found this and then decided to market it in the US. Just came out in wide release April 28th, 2023. We seem to have gotten that a week later here. Yeah, I don't know why it was supposed to come out here, and then they canceled it all of a sudden. I was kind of disappointed. I ended up having to go see something else I really wasn't looking forward to as much as this. So this is probably, I'm going to do non-spoilers and then I'm going to do spoilers. So currently this film, which is 1 hour and 31 minutes, so not bad for time, right? It's rated R, so it's got 94% audience score. Critics certified fresh rating, and an 88% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes as well. I'll just give you the not the critics consensus. I'll give you these. There's the movie info. So this is the basic info that you would want to know going into it. During the last desperate days of the Second World War, a solitary prospector crosses paths with Nazis on a scorched earth retreat in northern Finland. When the Nazis steal his gold, they quickly discover that they have just tangled with no ordinary miner. I'm not going to read any more of that. But I saw the trailer for this, and I'm like, yeah, that looks pretty good. It looks like, it's hyper violent. It's killing Nazis. Okay, Second World War. Who doesn't want to see that? And it's the Finns doing it, Finnish. So, yeah, that's one thing I've never been to Finland. I may have met some people who are Finnish, but one thing I know about from studying history is that never mess with the Finnish. They are ruthless. Okay? Even still to this day, don't mess with the Finnish at all. I was really looking forward to this. It's got a lot of this to me is done in a style of a Quentin Tarantino movie or an old spaghetti western. So the plot goes along and it's really slow paced, and the story really slows to a crawl, and then suddenly there's all this violence, and then it just goes right back and it goes to a crawl again, and then suddenly there's a bunch of more violence, and there's stare downs and face offs and just these long lingering shots all the time. So it wasn't the fast paced action movie I was expecting, which I kind of got from the trailer. I didn't think it was going to be, similar to a Tarantino movie where like things slow right down and it gets really into nitty gritty of it, and lots of dialogue maybe in certain scenes, and then it's just these long shots, and then suddenly there's all this hyper violence. So it does have similarities to both spaghetti westerns and Tarantino movies. I guess it reminded me a lot of Inglourious Basterds, which is one of the Tarantino movies. End of the day, what can I say about this? Oh, the other thing about this movie, which is not a spoiler, is there is a bit of unrealism about this. You have to have certain ability to suspend your disbelief for certain things, because you're thinking this is just an ordinary guy, but some of the things that they do, it's like, no way, that guy would be, all of his bones would be shattered. There's no way this guy would survive some of this stuff. So, while it's supposed to be based in reality, you have to have a certain amount of disbelief for this and be able to go into this. This is not real life. Also, you can tell that by the hyper violence, but also it's just, there's a lot of things in it that I just didn't buy. And I'm like, this is definitely not reality. But at the end of the day, even though, yeah, it was kind of dull at certain points there, and I'm like, oh, just get on with it. I don't need to see, them staring down at this, or like this view of this vista and everything. Just move the story along. End of the day, though, I did enjoy it more than I did, even though it had some dull parts in it. But overall, like the violence in that and killing Nazis and great stuff, and so it's just a simple story. I give it a best movie ever. If you're into that kind of stuff, Western style movies or Tarantino movies, I would recommend checking this out. Just don't expect it to be, it's not going to be like John Wick or anything, but yeah, I would compare it to Inglourious Basterds, but a little bit more unrealistic, let's say. Now let's get into the spoilers of it. Not too much to spoil, because you don't even really remember the characters' names. And yeah, there's several women that, I think there's 6 women that he rescues in it. At one point, he's doing his Indiana Jones Rares of the Lost Ark. He's holding on under the tree, but under the truck, but he seems to be doing it just fine. It's just dragging him along. He doesn't seem to mind. What else was there? The stuff with the plane, I found that to be just kind of ridiculous. I'm like, at that point, I'm just, okay. He's on the plane. He's shooting. He gets on the plane with with his pick, and somehow he's able to just hold on, and then he flies off and gets to and yet holds on to the other landing gear while still holding on to his pick. And then the plane crashes. I mean, and he's fine because just they say he's I'm not sure of the exact line, but he won't allow himself to die. So it's all just pure will. I didn't really buy that. It just got a bit too wacky and crazy in the end, I guess, is what I'm saying. However, it was fun killing the Nazis there. I mean, they kind of deserved it. However, then there was the landscape was all just open, barren landscape. I'm sitting there, how do you hide in this? Even if there's dust, I mean, one guy's a sharpshooter. How do they keep missing him? It just seemed a bit. If it had been in a forest, it would have worked much better. But in this barren permafrost area above the Arctic Circle, which I believe that area that they were fighting on, yeah, that was definitely way above the Arctic Circle there in Finland. If I know my geography right. If I don't, let me know down in the comments below if I'm wrong. It was quite a fun time, actually. It was just slow. Like, you get going and you're having a good time, and then it just slows right down. I'm like, oh, really? And then it picks up again. So pacing issues for me is really what I'm saying. But if you're into war movies, or some good action movies, Tarantino, Western-style movies, or if you just want to see, this crazy guy killing Nazis, yeah, go for it. I'd recommend that. But if you're not into it says here R for strong, bloody violence, language, gore. So if you're not into that, I wouldn't check it out. But I still give it a best movie ever. Thought it was great. I had a fun time. I'm not rushing back to see this, though. Let me know your thoughts. Did anyone out there see Sisu in theaters this week or last? Let us know what you think of it. Did you like it? Did you not? Is your opinion different than mine? Anyway, leave a comment down below and we might read that out on a future episode. The last thing I want to talk about was a new show on HBO called Love and Death. This is a new limited series. And I don't know if I'll spoil it this episode, but I haven't watched the 4th episode yet. I'm doing episodes 1 to 3. It's currently rated at 63% critic rating on Rotten Tomatoes, and it has a 91% audience score, so audiences seem to be enjoying it more. The series info says it's 2 church-going couples enjoy small-town family life in Texas until somebody picks up an axe. And this stars Elizabeth Olsen and what's the other guy's name? Jesse Plemons is in it. Essentially, this is a miniseries. It's set in the 70s. Can't remember the exact year, but it's definitely 70s. Mystery thriller. It might be later 70s, and it says it's a true story. How much of this is true, I don't know. They could be dramatizing a lot of things or playing a lot of things up. It's about the 2 people that decide to have an affair. They're both just not happy in their marriages, and so this is based on real life, and yeah, that happens. So it seems to be that I don't know. They're trying to start out with all the best intentions. They don't want to hurt their spouse, but they're not happy, and they just want to, try something else, And I don't know. Already by the end of the 3rd episode, things are starting to not go well. And there's definitely going to be problems, and they showed one of the first shots of the show is there's a flash of something in the future. Not going to spoil it because it's a spoiler-free review for this time. Essentially it's saying this doesn't end well. In fact, one of the characters even says that at one point. It's like, this is not going to end well. That's not one of the main characters. So Elizabeth Olsen, we've seen her a lot, is Wanda Maximoff as Scarlet Witch in the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies. She was in Wind River a couple of years back, pre-pandemic, with Jeremy Renner, plays Hawkeye in the MCU, and we hope he's feeling better and doing well after his accident last winter. Guy got run over by a snowplow or something. Hope he's doing well. Hearing pretty good things. So she's been in a bunch of things lately, and so she's doing really good in this. And she's acting opposite Jesse Plemons, who we know from movies such as Game Night, and probably what people mostly know him from would be Breaking Bad. He played, I think it was the cousin who was working with Jesse in that show. Oh, he was in The Post? He was in The Irishman. I don't remember much of The Irishman. It's so long. I think I'm still watching The Irishman. Oh, he was in American Made with Tom Cruise. Yeah, he was in Game Night. Other people, I didn't see that. What else is he in that I might know him from? He was in Jungle Cruise. This guy's in a lot of stuff. Vice, Game Night, Hostiles, The Post, American Made, The Discovery, I don't know what that is. This guy's in a lot of things here. Battleship, ooh. I want to take that one off there. Observe and Report. Who did he play in Breaking Bad? Todd. There we go. Oh, he was in Fargo, Black Mirror. Yeah, this guy's got a long career. He's been in tons of things. So both of them are doing a great job, and it's, I don't know, I guess it's trying to take more of a serious look at this aspect of life, and it goes back to a story in the 70s. I'm enjoying it so far. It's getting, things are just really getting going. Third episode. At the end there, I'm not going to spoil that, but it definitely ends on a cliffhanger, so I'm looking forward to the next one. It's limited series, 7 episodes, so I'm going to watch episode 4, which is out now. I'm not sure when they come out. I gotta look that up, which day. But I'm enjoying it so far, and I'm going to keep checking it out. If anyone else has seen Love and Death on HBO, and you want to share your thoughts, go ahead and leave a comment down below, whether you liked it or even if you didn't. And either way, let us know what you liked or didn't like about it. We're back for another installment of Into the DCEU, where Christine and I, we discuss all the, sorry, I'm just laughing at Fluffy Kitty there. She's got a weird expression on her face there. We're going through all the DCEU movies, so we've done 4 of them so far. Yeah. And now we're on to the 5th one, which is Justice League from 2017. So finally we're getting justice.
Right.
I would like you to go first on this movie, dear. It's from 2017. Go right ahead. It's an hour and 59 minutes long. I'm going to look up the critic rating. You go right ahead and tell us your thoughts on this movie.
This movie is not good at all. It's the worst one I've seen from DC.
Worse than Man of Steel?
Oh, yes. This one, like, quarter way through, I just wanted to leave. It was just so stupid. It has a villain that's not explained. We don't know why the villain's doing it. What are these boxes all about? Steppenwolf. No one seems to care about the boxes. They're not even guarding them properly. It's just really dumb, and I really didn't like it. I didn't want to watch it, but I watched it for the show so we could talk about it. But it's not set up right. The characters say, everything they say is not right in my mind. It's just really stupid. Okay. That's my opinion about it. I give it like a 22.
This movie currently has a 39% Rotten Critic rating and a 68% audience score. So a lot of people didn't like this movie. I don't think I enjoy it, and I haven't seen it since it was in the theater when I saw it then. Now let's try and be positive about this. Tell me some things that you liked about this. This is a bad movie, but tell me some things that you thought that you liked about it.
To me, it was like an annoying commercial. I just wanted to leave and turn it off and fast forward for it.
How was it a commercial?
What did I like about it?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I didn't like much anything about it. I didn't like anything about it. It was just garbled up.
Did you like any of the actors or actresses in their roles here?
I thought that it was funny that they made Superman come back to life.
Yeah, that was a weird way of how they got Superman to come back to life. I wrote that down here in my notes. But it wasn't a comedy. Okay, would you? I'm only gonna list my pros.
They should have made it more comedic. Then it would be better.
I want to be positive because we did get a comment a while back saying that you did a review of Star Trek Picard season 3, and all you listed was the negative things, and I'm like, yeah, you got to put positive things.
I did say positive things, but I think that didn't go well. I was not happy with it. I'm allowed to say that's what it's about. This movie, I don't even think we should have wasted our time watching it. It's just not a good movie at all.
People don't like this one.
Set up right. The story doesn't make much sense. These boxes, these weird creatures, they don't explain it properly. And the characters don't seem to mesh well as a team. The only thing interesting about it was bringing Superman back to life. That was the only interesting thing about it, and I think it should have been a comedy. It could have been really funny.
I think this should have been. I agree with you there.
He should have been really cuckoo puffs, and he should have went a bit nuts and stuff like that. It could have been really funny, but instead it was just one note, the whole thing. I just didn't like it. I don't really have anything good to say about it. I just think it was a waste of money.
Yeah, I'm going to get into that and why it was made so bad, because that's the studio's fault. So here's the things that I liked about this bad movie, because I had fun, but it's bad. So Jeremy Irons is back as Alfred Pennyworth, and he's just as snarky as ever, okay? He was one of the few good things in BVS for me. So he's back, and he's great. Love him. Jason Momoa as Aquaman, my man, okay? You gotta have that.
But we don't know who Aquaman is at this point, and we don't get a good sense of it. They just throw these characters in, and we don't know who some of them are yet.
Well, we got teased, but we got the teaser trailers for all of them back in BVS. We
don't really get who he is, and they just throw him in there.
So we know Superman by now, except he's dead at the beginning because we got Man of Steel. We know Ben Affleck's crazy fascist Batman from BVS. Okay, we know Wonder Woman because we just got a whole movie about her, but it's the other characters we don't know that much. Flash, we saw a cameo of in BVS and in Suicide Squad, which was one of the good parts of Suicide Squad when he shows up to take down Captain Boomerang at the bank. There was like a 30-second spot on that. So, Jason Momoa is Aquaman. I love that. My man! Again, X-Men reference there near the beginning. That was pretty cool. Alien probe joke. That was funny. The movie stops and suddenly there's this news clip and this lady's like, aliens took my husband. They better not be probing him. I don't want them to probe my husband. Come on, that was hilarious.
That part, but
that was
hilarious. Still didn't even understand who the bad guys were. Were they aliens? They didn't seem to be aliens. They seemed to be those god people again. I don't think they were aliens.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Superman's an alien.
They didn't seem to be aliens.
J.K. Simmons as Lieutenant Jim Gordon. I mean, J.K. Simmons is always amazing.
Wasn't in it very much.
No, he's not supposed to be. But, yeah, why they contract all these big actors for these tiny roles? I think
they scratched that out on their resume. I think they said take that one off.
Mm. The Speed Force effect with Barry Allen for The Flash, that looked really good. I enjoyed that. They did a lot of good stuff with that. Wonder Woman fighting Steppenwolf in the sewer battle when they're underneath Gotham Harbor there, and before all the water, when she's fighting him, that's pretty cool. She's like, I got this. Okay? Well, all the other guys are just kind of bumbling, and Flash is tripping over himself and injuring himself.
He seemed to be really clumsy and didn't know what he was doing.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't really enjoy that. They use the mother box to boost Superman alive. So get this. It's essentially like they're boosting a car battery. So they use this mother box, which, as Christine said, they didn't explain what's going on very well.
Still don't know what a mother box is, even at the end.
A lot of this movie is essentially saying, hey, you know all this stuff from the DC comics? And you get Christine here, no, we don't know this stuff. It's like, you know all this stuff from the comics? Well, here it is, and we're not going to explain it to you, but you'll love it because it's from the comics. And that doesn't make sense to general audiences. Even me, I'm not a huge DC fan. I like DC.
You know what a mother box was before you watched this movie?
Yeah, sort of.
We still don't know what it is. I think it more confused the topic.
Yeah.
than not.
Okay. Well, the fact that they're like, this is what happened to the 3 mother boxes. One was given to men, and they just bury it in a hole that's 6 feet deep. Yeah, no one will ever find that. And that's why Cialis Stone has it, because he's like, yeah, I can dig up a 6-foot hole. Someone clearly did.
That was the name of the character. I don't get it. And the cyborg character, I don't understand.
That's his son.
We haven't seen the characters before, and they don't introduce them.
They
needed to do it like in Suicide Squad and explain who they are, because I don't understand who
As I was saying, they're saying this is stuff from the comic books. You know it, and so here it is. They just don't explain it for people who don't know it.
The character was very mopey. They need to have more humor. I thought it could have been. He
positive things
funny.
here. Okay. Positive things here. Stop being so negative all the time. I'm not negative on your Harry Potter stuff.
Oh no.
No, I'm giving you my opinion.
I just really didn't like it.
Okay, so they use the mother box to boost Superman alive, kind of like they're boosting your car. Does it make sense? No. It was ridiculous, but I thought it was funny.
That's the only thing I liked about it. It was funny, but they didn't make it.
Now, they use this a couple of times. The Pet Cemetery joke.
Yeah.
So Barry Allen is... Okay, so if we bring him back, is he going to be like... He's going to be cool, or is he going to be like Pet Cemetery?
Exactly.
And then when he goes crazy, they're like, Pet Cemetery.
Pet Cemetery.
Yeah.
But they could have really milked
that was a good joke. Okay?
I guess.
Superman stares down the Flash when they're fighting by his old ruined statue in the park. And the Justice League is all fighting him, except for Batman. And then Flash is suddenly, I'm going to run around him super fast. And Superman's like, I see you. You see his eyes move? Like, and Barry Allen's freaking out. He's like, oh my God, he can see me? Because he's moving so fast.
Expect that?
And then he turns, because no one's ever done that to him, right? Because Superman can be that fast. And he turns his head. He's like, I see you, bitch. And that was fun. And Barry Allen's just freaking out. And then I think he trips again. It was hilarious.
Well, we don't know who Barry is.
This should have been a comedy. This would have been a great comedy if they had just done stuff like that the whole time. And then after the fight, Batman's just laying down in the park. He's like, oh, I'm in pain. Oh, this sucks. That was funny. Aquaman in the when they're in the troop carrier and they're going to Russia, although this movie has not aged well because I wouldn't send them. I wouldn't go to Russia to save them now.
It would have made more sense if it was in Ukraine.
Aquaman on the troop carrier is the lasso of truth joke because he's sitting on it and he starts saying, he's like, I'm young, man. I don't want to die. I got shit to do. I want to do things, right?
Why couldn't they actually go to Chernobyl, I guess, is my question. Why did they make it a fake place? It was Chernobyl, eventually.
They said it was northern Russia, is what they said in the news.
But they called it a name, but they could have just said they were at Chernobyl, it would have made.
Yeah, but it's the DC universe. It's all fake cities and fake places. You know, remember Kondok? That's not a real place.
No, but Chernobyl...
Atlantis? That's not a real place.
Had it in Chernobyl.
Okay.
I think that would have been
Jason... Okay, Aquaman riding on top of the Batmobile there. That looked cool. That was fun. That's the kind of stuff you want. You want funny stuff. Jason Momoa is chewing all the scenery in this. Now, I'm going to get into some drama behind the scenes stuff, but apparently there was a lot of problems on set with this movie. There's so much drama surrounding all these movies.
I thought he was mumbling a bit.
Okay, but he looked like he was having a great time and chewing all the scenery. And he's just having a great time. Yeah! He's great. So I can't say anything bad about him. The Justice League members are all ripping on each other when they start having some camaraderie, and they're like, your thing's dumb. It's like, you talk to fish. And it's just like, hey man, what happened to your legs? Cyborg. It's just random stuff like that. And then Steppenwolf in the end battle, that's the main guy, which everyone's like, this is a bad villain. They don't introduce him or anything. He just shows up.
I don't know what he is.
He just shows up out of a boom tube, but they don't explain that. As a comic book reader, I know what that is. And you hear the boom. He just shows up.
Was he not a god? He wasn't an alien.
I think technically they are aliens because they come from another planet.
But they are the gods, like the Greek gods, are they not?
Well, he mentions the new gods. Anyway, once again, I don't know.
He seems to be a god, but did they treat him in the movie like
it's like God
alien?
I think of it as the sense of God as in Thor and the Asgardians are gods. They're essentially aliens, but they call themselves gods. Are they really gods, or are they just
previous movies,
full of themselves?
Like in the Wonder Woman movies, they are actually the Greek gods. So
yeah, but they are all killed off. They mention that.
Wow.
So Steppenwolf in the end battle, he just rips off Cyborg's legs. He's got him up top and he's like pulling, and he just rips off his leg. I'm like, yeah, that was cool. That shows that he can be. I mean, he should have been tougher because they didn't really. Anyway, Flash and Superman competing to save people. Flash, he gets the Russians out in their truck, and then he looks up and he's like, I'm so great. And then suddenly Superman's flying by with a building full of people. He's like, I got this. Come on, that was funny. Should have just been more of that. Superman's suit is way more colorful, like that. Definitely. All their suits are colorful.
It's a different color than it was before.
Yeah, because they're course correcting.
I don't really explain it, but it is an aqua color.
We see for the first time Superman's freeze breath. He blows his freeze breath at Steppenwolf, and that's how they're able to smash his axe. And so we see that for the first time. That was all right. Steppenwolf's helmet, which is the only thing that's left, that's the first trophy for the Justice League. In the Hall of Justice, if you remember the old Super Friends cartoon, they're supposed to have like a trophy room, and that's the first trophy is his helmet. So he's got that big like pointy horned helmet, which looks ridiculous. Oh yeah, they made Ray Fisher say Cyborg's line. Booyah. Not as fun as on Teen Titans Go with what's his name, Kari Payton.
Like
he owns that role.
That. Instead, he was like really depressed and like mopey
yeah,
again.
Yeah, I didn't care
all
for that.
All of their characters, other than Wonder Woman, are depressed and mopey.
Okay, so you don't see. So Martha Kent has lost the house. They foreclose on it. That's at the beginning of the movie.
No surprise there.
Okay, and you don't see it in this, but in the other version, the Zack Snyder Justice League version, which is over 4 hours. We didn't watch that. We watched the Joss Whedon one. Bruce Wayne. So in that version, you know where she's working now? She's working at Sears. Okay.
Poor thing. That's gonna go on.
Yeah, that's not so good. But anyway, Bruce Wayne buys the bank to give Superman back his house. I'm like, yeah, that's pretty good. It shows the contrast between the two characters. Because Batman technically has no superpowers, and Superman is way overpowered, but he's so poor, and Bruce Wayne's like, yeah, I'll just buy the bank. Here's your house back. We're cool. Sorry for killing you there, buddy. Or trying to.
He just makes his mother live in poverty.
Did you notice that his scar was gone? Like his scar that Batman gave him from that spear is gone.
Superman doesn't scar up. Isn't that one of his things? He's like,
well, if you get cut with a kryptonite spear, he would.
I don't think so.
So that was gone.
He heals up so good.
Amy Adams is back as Lois Lane. Now, they don't give her much to do in these movies, and I feel bad for Amy Adams. She also
scratched these off her resume.
Yeah, it's a big Hollywood movie, so you want this, and you want the money and the residuals, right? But they don't give her much to do, but when she's in it, she tries to do as much as she can with the little she's given. I feel bad for her, but she's good, regardless. Even in a bad movie, she's doing her best, and I respect that. She's really good at her job. We see old Wayne Manor again that you love, that's been destroyed forever.
Fix it up?
Because he lives in that lake apartment.
I know, but
now he's fixing it up, and now it's going to be the Hall of Justice.
Oh.
Okay,
maybe he'll finally mow the lawn.
Well, yeah, he'll hire some gardeners. He's a billionaire. He can do that. Henry Cavill does the classic Superman open shirt and then flies off at the end. Finally, we get that.
No personality at all in this.
Yeah,
he's even more void of personality than in the other.
That's not his fault.
But they should have made him all glitchy or something. That would have been interesting.
There's a mid-credit scene with Superman and the Flash, which is a classic fan debate. Who's faster, Superman or the Flash? So they have a race, and that's fun. Come on. And they're joking around. He's like, if you lose, you're off the team, Barry, because we don't like you.
I think the Flash should be, because technically he's just from another planet.
No, it's that was a long debate for decades. Now there's a definitive answer. It's the Flash because he has the Speed Force.
That's what I was thinking.
He can run through time. So yeah, he's faster than Superman.
Kal-El, or he's just like an alien that's from a planet that they're stronger and better than us, but he doesn't have magic or whatever.
Yeah. So that was a fun scene, and fans, I think a lot of fans enjoyed that one. I remember hearing about that. And then there's an end credit scene, which I didn't really care for, but we got to see Deathstroke, Slade Wilson, whom we saw in Arrow, and we saw in Teen Titans Go to the Movies.
At first, because he looks like Deadpool in this movie.
You're gonna love this.
A lot.
So the guy who created, there's two creators. I can't remember both their names. So one of them created the creators that made Deadpool. Okay.
Yeah.
The artist is Rob Liefeld. Okay. He's the guy that everyone says can't draw feet. There's this funny joke about it.
Okay.
Him and the writer over at Marvel were writing the New Mutants, and they created the character Deadpool. So Deadpool looks very similar to Deathstroke.
Yeah.
And Deathstroke name is Slade Wilson.
Right.
And Deadpool's name is Wade Wilson. And the reason why they did that is because in the 80s they were reading the Teen Titans comic and they both loved it, so they made this character, and they're like, it's a rip on Deathstroke.
Slade Wilson is Australian. Is he correct, or New Zealand born?
I don't remember where he is. I thought he was British.
Well,
I don't remember.
They had
because
him. Isn't that
Slade Wilson is similar
New Zealand?
I don't know. He's similar to Batman in the sense that he's rich and he has a butler, and there's some weird stuff.
He's from the guy like
no,
on the
guy on Arrow, the show, who played what's his name there? The guy who played Deathstroke there.
New Zealand or Australia, one of those places.
It's not all I'm thinking of is Tamara Morrison, and that's not him.
I think he's from New Zealand. Anyway,
Manu Bennett.
Yes.
He played Deathstroke in the Arrow show, and he's New Zealand. He's from New Zealand, I believe. And he was great. That was a way better version of Deathstroke.
Yeah. Okay, question. Do they actually do anything with this Deathstroke guy after this? No.
No, we haven't seen him yet.
Exactly.
We haven't seen him again. And we haven't seen, and thankfully we haven't seen Jesse Eisenberg again back as freaking
he was in
Lex Luthor.
He didn't do very much.
No, since that, yeah. So he was in the post-credits scene. We see that he's broken out of jail. He's still bald, and he's like, guys, we gotta form our own female baseball team. Get Gina Davis back. I'm like, okay, that's funny.
That was my joke.
Because that was his line. He's like, shouldn't we have a league of our own? First thing I thought, I'm like, call Gina Davis. She's amazing.
Exactly.
So,
we already had two chicks there looking beefy standing behind him. Anyway. I don't know, but if you're going to put a scene like that in a movie, you at least have to, do something with it afterwards.
Okay. What rating do you give this movie from?
I think I gave it a 22.
22?
I really found it like an annoying commercial, and I just wanted to stop watching
This was a bit painful to watch, and most people don't like Joss Whedon's Justice League. Some like Zack Snyder's better, but I ain't watching that, because it's 4 hours and 2 minutes long. But this one came out November 17. I give this one, even though I had some fun with it, I give it a worst movie ever, because most of it is not great, and I don't want to get into that. So let's talk about some of the behind-the-scenes drama about this. So, this movie, Zack Snyder is credited as the director, but he didn't actually direct the movie. While they were making it, he had to step away because of a family tragedy. Mm-hmm. That's unfortunate. He tried to come back, but it didn't work out, and so they brought in Joss Whedon, who's his friend, and he tried to do what he could with this movie. And I don't want to get into my thoughts on Joss
Whedon. We don't really know
Whedon.
what the story was in
The
beginning.
reason why this movie is bad, and why a bunch of these other movies have been bad, is because they were rushed by the studio. They didn't take the time to get good scripts, to get good, to do really good reshoots on that. And this one was the worst because this came out in November of 2017 in wide release. And the reason why it came out is because the current regime at the time, which had already changed over from 2013 when the first DCEU movie came out, Man of Steel, it had changed over. And so now at this time it was Kevin Tsujihara and all these other bigwigs at Warner Bros. They knew that AT&T was coming in to buy it. Eventually, to buy Warner Brothers.
The business daddy.
Yeah, the business day, as John Oliver says it. They knew that was coming. And so the reason why this movie was rushed to come out, and they didn't wait for Zack Snyder to eventually come back, and they could have delayed it a year or two. I don't know. And the reason for that is corporate greed. Because if they waited on it, the merger could have gone ahead, and then those executives wouldn't get their bonuses. Okay? Because these movies have to come out and then they get big $1 million bonuses. Well, and what happened was
doing good so far with the movies.
Because when another company comes in and buys your company, they usually clear house with management, put their own people in, right? So that would mean that those executives wouldn't get their bonuses. So this was about corporate greed, and they rushed it, which is not a good idea.
But it's kind of doesn't excuse the other previous terrible movies.
And those movies were rushed. Well, not Man of Steel, but the other ones were rushed as well, because once they made Man of Steel, then Warner Brothers is say, okay, we're going to put in this schedule. We're going to come out with BVS and Suicide Squad in 2016. Then in 2017, we're going to come out with Wonder Woman, and we're going to come out with Justice League. And then in 2018, we're going to come out with, I think it was supposed to come up with The Flash and Aquaman. And The Flash we're only getting now in 2023.
Wonder Woman was spectacular compared to this film.
The point of this is they rushed because they want to create their own shared cinematic universe. So they're rushing to catch up with Marvel. And the reason Marvel launched the MCU in 2008 with Iron Man and the Incredible Hulk. And they had to make good movies, and then they made them connected and created their shared universe, and they built it up. And they made mistakes, too. I'm not a huge fan of Iron Man, or Iron Man 2, or Iron Man 3, but I have fun with them. So that was a problem with these movies, is that they rushed them. Now, getting into even more stuff, there was a lot of problems on set with this movie. And many of the cast, especially Ray Fisher, who plays Cyborg, he came out and talked about how he was treated really badly. So he comes from theater. So his acting career in movies is done once you do this, right? Because he came out and talked a lot of trash, and it forced Warner Brothers to launch an HR investigation. He said that the treatment on set for all the Justice League cast was really terrible.
All of them. Was he specifically, were they racist against him, or what?
I think they were just treated very poor. I don't want to get into the details.
The stars, usually that's not a good idea.
Yeah, well, Henry Cavill certainly was shortchanged because they gave him really bad stuff in this, and when they marketed this movie, you see, there's Henry Cavill right there as Superman. They didn't, he wasn't in any of the promotional material. So it's like, hey, Superman's in this, but we're not going to show you him. You got to come see the movie. And guess what? A lot of people didn't go see the movie because I don't think that's the main reason why it bombed. He came out and talked about terrible treatment. Was it true? Was it not? I don't want to weigh into that.
Well, the movie itself is terrible.
Gal Gadot was pissed off about a couple of things that came out.
This is a B movie. This is not.
Well, this is not good.
This is not good at all.
It's worse than BVS for you?
Oh, it's worse than all of them.
This one
doesn't even make sense.
I would say I had more fun with this one than BVS because it had more jokes in it. And if it was like a straight up comedy, say it was all jokes the whole time, it wouldn't matter. Okay.
It's bad. It's really bad. It's the worst of them all.
For you. For me, it's not. I don't really like BVS, but I had some fun with this movie. So that's why I listed those funny jokes. I'm saying, if I would have redone this, and who listens to me? No one. But I would have done it as just a comedy. So no matter what wacky, stupid things you do with mother boxes and aliens and parademons, that doesn't matter because you're laughing. If it was just nonstop jokes, that would have been a good approach to this. I think they should have made it really funny. Now here's some more drama for you. So that we talked about how that was rushed. So here's some more drama for you. Suicide Squad had a bunch of drama on set.
Okay.
And this, you know how I don't like Jared Leto as the Joker?
I know you don't like Jared Leto.
I don't like Jared Leto at all. But this is the movie. This movie was the catalyst for me of why I don't like him. He's done a lot of crappy things I don't like.
I like his acting.
In this movie, he describes himself, well, in all of his movies, he's a method actor according to him.
Okay.
And he's an Academy Award actor, which means nothing to me because he's won awards. I don't know what it's for.
I think he's a good actor.
Well, he was doing a bunch of crap on set of Suicide Squad.
Getting into the character or something?
Yeah, so he's acting like the Joker all the time, even when he's not on set.
Well, that happened to someone else and they did kill themselves.
Yeah, so he's trying to copy, what's his name?
I would try to copy it too, Heath Ledger, because
his
performance was phenomenal.
Except he's doing it in his Jared Leto douchebag way. So you know what he did? So Will Smith's character, Deadshot, he has his assistant send him a bunch of bullets. Okay? Here's some bullets for you from the Joker. Why would you do that? That's a threat. That's a workplace. Apparently he sent Margot Robbie, who played Harley Quinn, he sent her a rat. And it was a live rat. Apparently, according to her, she confirmed this, that all the cast members would pass it around and look after the rat on set.
So she got a pet she had to look at. That's always lovely. We know how that goes.
But a rat?
Yeah.
And
that's
also,
not nice.
he had his assistant send two of the other cast members use condoms.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
it's
a
he should
workplace.
have been fired. That's an
Exactly.
HR firing
Exactly.
situation.
But he's Jared Leto. We can't fire him.
I'm not an HR person, but we know they don't like to fire people in this. Because I mean, we have someone else who has been a bad actor, and they haven't fired him.
Well, there's lots of actors who are assholes.
I just mean
jerks.
The Flash guy.
Yeah.
Anyway,
well,
that has nothing to do with this
done.
film.
Ezra Miller is done now.
He's not in this film.
But listen, so Jared Leto was causing a whole bunch of crap on the set of Suicide Squad, and you know how these rumors, now, maybe they're true, maybe they're not. I wasn't there.
True?
Some of them are, some of them might not be. Some of them were confirmed by other cast members. But here's the thing, you want to know where these rumors started? Started in an interview that Jared Leto gave, and he starts talking about these rumors. He started them. Why would he do that?
I don't know,
This
but
guy's
Jared
nuts.
Leto's not in this movie. That's in the other movie.
Yeah, but I'm giving you more dirt on the DCEU because I'm trying to give more and more information about these movies.
Listen, I don't even think half of them are worth watching. They're so bad. This one, it's just a waste of my time.
This one is a waste of time.
It's
I agree with you there.
It's like a very irritating commercial.
But it had some funny bits in it, and I enjoyed the funny bits.
2 jokes?
It's more than 2 jokes.
Two jokes. One was repeated.
There was some that weren't considered to be jokes, but I thought they were fun. There was a lot of weird stuff. I'm like, I don't need to see Flash and Cyborg slowly digging up Superman's grave. They're grave robbing now?
I just wanted to fast forward through all of it.
Okay.
Anyway.
That's why I give it a worst movie ever. But I did have lots of fun with this. Let us know your thoughts on 2017's Justice League from Joss Whedon, or on the Zack Snyder one. I've seen the Zack Snyder one. To me, it ain't any better. It's just longer. You know those slow-mo shots that Zack Snyder likes to do?
Did those people come back, the same people, and do another movie after saw the first one? Did they come back?
Some of them came back to shoot additional scenes.
Oh, so it's the same movie. It's the same footage.
Yeah, they used a lot of the same footage. They did a lot of visual effects.
Because I was going to say, once they saw this come out, I don't think they'd ever work with them again. Like, I'm surprised.
All the actors in all the Justice League members, they love working with Zack Snyder.
Yeah, but this movie is really bad. I'd be really embarrassed if I was in this movie.
Yeah, I can't comment on that. But let us know what you think on Justice League from 2017 or Zack Snyder's from 2021. I'll tell you, we're not going to watch that one, but it's essentially it's more dour. It's Zack Snyder's. It's more dour, mopey superheroes, and it's a lot of like long slow motion shots. And I'm like, oh, that's why it's over 4 hours long. I don't think it's better, but the next one that we got is great. We got Aquaman from 2018, which is the only DCEU movie to make $1 billion. The other DC movie that's made $1 billion is Joker, but that's not connected to the DCEU.
Because they wanted to see Jason Momoa half naked. I think that's why.
Who doesn't want to see Jason Momoa having a good time as Aquaman? My man! That's great. He even shows up in the Lego movies doing his Aquaman. And that's his line, my man. And we're back for another episode of Nap Time at Hogwarts, which is one of our favorite segments here, because you love these Harry Potter movies?
Yes.
Stop being so negative. I'm one of the hosts, Gregory Barrett. This is Christine, my lovely wife, and Fluffy Kitty here is a bit rambunctious. We're having trouble getting her to settle down there today.
She's gonna roll around in front of me, it looks like.
Yeah, it looks like she's just kind of rolling around and she wants to shed everywhere and...
Feel my teeth.
Okay, she's gonna get really excited if you keep brushing her there. Don't brush her too much, please. So, what did we watch? We watched Harry Potter 5, Salazar's Revenge.
It's not called that. It's the Order of the Phoenix, I believe is what it's called.
Well, depending on what part of the world you're in, it's either called Salazar's Revenge or Dead Men Tell No Tales.
They could have called it Dumbledore's Army, I suppose, but they didn't.
This is from 2007. This is the shortest one that we watched at 2 hours and 18 minutes. I still can't believe that these are children's movies. Because, come on, Kitty, you gotta lie down, okay? Be cooperative.
Teenagers.
You gotta be cooperative.
Well, we'll just have to let her do her thing. She wants to roll around and not be on the cushion.
So, this movie currently has a 78% certified fresh critic rating and an 81% audience score. So I think that's one of the lower Harry Potter movies. I don't know, because I didn't watch these as they come out. This is my first time watching all these movies.
It's sort of setting up. It's a setup movie for what's to come.
Okay, I think all of these have been set up movies.
Well, they're all the same story. It's like one continuous story.
Yeah, they're... Okay, so... This movie is more... As I watch more and more of these movies, they're not just about sexual references, but they're also about indoctrination. So these movies, everything in these movies seems to be a metaphor or an allegory comparison for... And it's teaching kids how to behave in terms of British standards. They're really indoctrinating kids in this.
So
okay?
At all.
That's exactly what this is. And they do it so subtly that kids are like, I love this Harry Potter, and adults too, I love this Harry Potter wizarding world, but they don't realize that there's a lot of sexual undertones for this, and they're also being taught how to behave as adults and what's acceptable, and they're being indoctrinated with a lot of British, what's the word I'm looking for? British principles, and no, don't touch the camera, Kitty.
I don't think so at all. Yeah. I think, if anything, it's a comparison or like to the Second World War. That's what I believe it's about. This is supposed to be in the 1930s, and Germany is rising to power, and England is trying to stop it.
Well, they definitely got the Nazi angle, because Malfoy and his cronies there, they become more and more Nazi-like each episode. So clearly Malfoy, that character, that is the Nazi poster boy. Well, blonde hair, blue eyes, he's a real dick.
Well, no, it's all about, they don't want impure blood and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
that's what the
so it's about that Nazi Aryan supremacy crap.
That's really what it's paralleling, if anything, is about. This is basically the 30s, and Germany is coming to power, and now
I guess the first movie seemed to be in the Industrial Revolution for some reason. So Malfoy and his two cronies, who I guess represent the brown shirts. So they're so J.K. Rowling, and
they're not in
I don't really have any feelings on that author, but yeah, they're not in it that much. But she definitely puts these characters in just to let all the audience know Nazis are bad, which they are, right? No one wants to put up with that crap, and so they're just reminding them about British history and European history. So yeah, there's that in there. It starts off with he's in a park, it's weird. Harry Potter starts off in a park at the beginning
all
of this
by
movie.
himself. He has to
with
spend
his
the summer all alone.
And it's
no
a
friends.
scorching heat wave, so it's summer of 2022 there in England.
Well, and this is summer before
and
that.
And his dumb, spoiled cousin is there, who is really, really dumb. And he has to hang out with him, and they get attacked by more of these, what are they called, the Dementors?
He's not hanging out with him. He comes with his friends to make
fun
to
bully him. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, he's a bully.
And then the Dementors show up, but they look different from the last time we saw them.
They do look different from the last time.
Yeah, so they don't look like Grim Reapers anymore. Now they look like phantasms.
White speckles on them. I know, I thought that was odd. I think they should have made them look the same.
I agree too. I don't know. Well, that would be a J.K. Rowling choice because she gets to make all these decisions. I don't think
there was a difference in them, but...
So... these Dementors attack both of them, and they're trying to kill them by kissing them. Okay, nothing weird going on there, of course.
Sucking the life force out of them. They're not kissing them. There's no physical contact.
Yeah. So, and apparently Harry Potter, he busts out his wand, and he's like, "I'm gonna take care of this," and he shoots a big glob ball of white light at them.
He shoots a Patronus at them.
Yeah, which out of his wand.
Oh, stop with that.
Which is, he shoots a big glob of white light out of his wand, and it scares them away. Great, and then he gets in trouble for this.
Well,
because he's a minor.
What we find out is all along that there's been a kind of a spy in the neighborhood watching him all this time. Dumbledore has set up one of his neighbors, who he knows is one of his old neighbors, she's a witch, and she's been monitoring him all this
She
time.
Shows up.
Yeah, she shows
up to help them. But so stepping past that weirdness there, so then he gets in trouble because he's not allowed to do magic in front of muggles, I guess ordinary people, and he's not allowed to do that. Did you want some treats? No, you're not interested in that?
Yeah, it's a political spectacle because the Ministry is trying to deny the fact that Voldemort is back, and they are saying that Harry is lying, and therefore Dumbledore is lying and making it up. And the Ministry is making an example of Harry Potter. No other student, if a student did this, they wouldn't come before the whole
We don't need to explain Harry Potter lore to people, okay? People can watch the movie. This movie is from 16 years ago.
I'm explaining what happened in the movie.
Yeah, and we don't need to do the whole plot. So the point of this is, because he's a minor, he's not allowed to do magic in front of other people. And so, you know what this is? This is teaching kids that, it's like underage sex. Nope. This is bad. He's not allowed to do that.
To do with that at all.
Unless it's with the other wizards.
It's a political showboat. It's nothing to do with that. It's taking a minor issue and making into a giant political statement is what it is. And it's about the propaganda machine. This movie is all about propaganda.
It's all about propaganda, all right.
Machine being their wizard paper, and the wizard government is fronting this whole thing and denying Voldemort. Meanwhile, that gives Voldemort the chance to get stronger and gather all of his people together, which he breaks out of Azkaban, etc., etc. So
Azkaban sounds like the name of a band.
Therefore, the the guys, they have to start forming their own battalions. And an old order, the Order of the Phoenix, comes back together, consisting of a lot of his old professors and some other people. And then what happens is that in order to control everybody and control the children, they start to put their message in at the school. Mm-hmm. And they put their propaganda master in charge of the school, and she's a real doozy. And
the Queen shows up, Imelda Staunton, and she's clearly representing the Queen there, okay? She's this is proper British society.
No, she's not saying that at all. She's like she's the Nazi. Not the Queen. You're going around the wrong side, man. Anyway, she's putting the propaganda now at the school and not teaching the children properly, so they don't have any idea what they're doing, so they can be easily taken over by Voldemort.
Mm-hmm.
That's what happens. But then they start doing their own thing, and they start trying to train themselves up, and Harry's trying to lead them. and give them all magic powers, which we do find out they do need, because at the end they are attacked, and that's what it's about.
Yeah. So Imelda Staunton, who's clearly playing the Queen long before she was in The Crown, which, by the way, she's great in The Crown. So she represents the Queen in this, and she's acting and dresses exactly like the Queen Elizabeth II used to do.
No, she doesn't.
Can I give my opinion, or are you just gonna argue with me on my opinion?
You're leading people astray.
I'm telling you my thoughts on this. This is my interpretation of the movie.
Your interpretation.
It's all subjective. So she's like ultra conservative behavior. It's like everyone has to sit up straight. There's no magic allowed, okay? There's also like no kissing, no touching. She even makes two students separate apart. Like the thin veil of their metaphor suddenly starts to break down, and to me it's quite obvious what they're actually getting at here. So she's like, yeah, everyone has to make sure that their uniform is proper all the time. They have shirts tucked in. You know, none of the girls have their skirts hiked up in this, and if it was a real school, all the girls would do that, because, you know, if you've ever been to Catholic school. And she's representing, so this is how we have to do it. We have to be really strict. And then the kids are doing, no, we can learn how to defend ourselves, and we can learn all this stuff. And I think that's kind of a metaphor for sex education.
Again, stop it with that. It's nothing to do with it. She's the propaganda machine.
It's propaganda, all right.
She's propaganda for the enemy. And the kids rebel.
The enemy, as in Voldemort.
And all the kids, the racist kids, are given...
The Nazi kids.
They're given... they're basically part of an organization to root out these other kids.
There's only 3 of them. Okay.
There's like 5 of them.
The villain, Voldemort. Look at this picture of this guy. Okay? Ralph Fiennes as this guy. Look at this picture. I'm going to put it up on screen.
Yeah, that's
Voldemort. Tell me this guy doesn't look like a weird albino penis. Okay? Because he does.
Stop it! Stop it right now! All that stuff. Stop it! He is not a full person, and that's why he doesn't even... He's distorted. His evil has distorted him. That's why he doesn't look like a full person. He's like, looks more like a snake.
Yeah, he looks like something else, all right.
Oh my gosh, stop it.
So, yeah, you decide for yourself. What does this guy look like? I mean...
Well, we could say Lex Luthor looks like one, too.
Well, Lex Luthor is a dick.
Oh, stop it. Anyway, he comes to power. It shows that there's really consequences. And the war has really started. And finally, at the end, they all realize that Harry's been telling the truth. And, but unfortunately, his godfather, who is his only family that he has left, is killed.
He's got that fat uncle and his fat cousin and his super skinny aunt, but they're all mean to him.
They're not really, they're terrible people. Anyway, so it's a real bad time for Harry because his uncle has died and he feels like it's his fault.
The fat uncle? He didn't die?
Not his godfather, who's like his uncle.
Who's his godfather?
Sirius Black is killed.
Yeah, Gary Oldman's in this again.
Cousin,
and he keeps showing up naked all the time and keeps having to like put a giant robe on because he's a shapeshifter. He's a shapeshifter.
He's an animagus. Anyway.
Okay. I don't know what that is.
His cousin Beatrix kills him. I don't know if she really means it, but she does. She does, because she's that crazy.
Yeah, Helena Bonham Carter. Yeah, I remember that.
And
I'll watch this movie.
It's great casting for her, I think, because she loves being a crazy person.
There's all these British actors in this.
She's great. Anyway, she kills her cousin, and Harry's lost again. And but his friends are trying to tell him, you don't do this alone. We're all with you. It's not just you. It's all of us. We're Dumbledore's army type of thing.
They form a secret class where they're all training and he's helping them.
And he kind of loses his chance with his crush because she...
What's that girl's name? The Asian girl. Cho?
They basically... The bad guys get a hold of, and she tells them, but we find out later it's because they used truth serum on her. And she had no choice if they used truth serum on her. But they all start hating her, and she's alienated because they find them doing in the Dumbledore's army, and she rats them out. And so at the end, everyone's mean to her. So I guess he's basically lost his chance with her. She's off
Oh,
the
wow.
table now. And yeah, so
did you notice? Sorry, go ahead.
Shows all these betrayals and what happens.
Did you notice that weird scene where Harry comes in and Hermione and Ron are there? And she's like so happy to see him. Did you realize what was going on? She's like, "Oh, thank God you're here, Harry. Ron was acting inappropriate. I'm so glad you're here." It looked like to me that what was happening. Ron was being inappropriate, and then suddenly Harry walks in. And she's like, "Oh my God, thank God!"
Have a thing, but
do they?
Yes.
Do they?
But she's not the same as Ron. She's way more conservative in a way, and she's like,
and he's poor.
Stunned.
He's poor white trash.
You can be conservative.
He's the British version of poor white trash, let's say.
No, you're not. Just because he's poor, he doesn't mean anything. He's just poor, but he's a great guy. He's just not as smart as his wizard girlfriend. She's a wizard times 3. But she's
not his girlfriend, and apparently she doesn't want anything to do with her. I'm telling you, I think something was
just awkward. It's that awkward thing where, you kind of, but you're not really sure, and it's that awkward teenage
I don't know what's happening later
on.
But we didn't see what was happening between Hermione and Ron when Harry walked into that room, and I think he was doing something that she wasn't comfortable with.
Stop it! Stop it!
Hey,
they do have a thing for each other.
I'm just reading the scene.
But it's not. It's because they're teenagers and they're not quite sure.
Yeah, they're not quite sure about their magic. Okay.
Anyway.
So, and this movie to me was also a lot about. I thought there's a big separation, and I'm thinking because this is British, okay, specifically, isn't J.K. Rowling English? Do you know?
They're all from Britain.
Yeah, but English.
I think she's from London or somewhere.
Okay, so let's say English. So it could be a racist aspect to this movie, but I think it's more about classism. Because I've never been to England, but if you know anything about British society, it's all about separation of classes. It's like, we got the upper class up here, and they don't mix with the lower class. And that's like the wizarding world and the muggle world. No. They look at them as second-class citizens. We're way better because we have magic.
It's the opposite. It's breaking down all that stuff.
Is it?
Yes.
Because they're gonna charge him because he's a minor and he used his magic wand in front of the kids.
You're not getting what it's about at all. It's about we don't want classism. We don't care. We don't want this pure bloodness. It's about championing non-racist things and non-classist things. That's what it's all about. Don't you get that?
No, I think you're not understanding my perspective.
Anyway.
I think they're promoting that as part of it's practically in the British Constitution. It's all nepotism and class warfare. And they're really trying to repress people who are into this. And they're like, no, sexual things are bad. That's why the bad guy looks the way he does. And he's got his bad magic.
You're ruining it all. It's nothing to do with that. It's about the Nazis.
Well, to me...
If it is about anything...
Yeah, there's Nazi stuff in it, too.
Anyway, you're making me upset about it. It's a fabulous series. It's really interesting. It shows the progression. And things are getting really bad now. And people are dying. And there's more to come.
Okay.
Because they have to get rid of this Voldemort and his terrible Death Eaters. And where do they go from here?
So I think it's teaching a little bit of classism. Okay, so separation of classes and maybe even a touch of racism too. But, I don't really want to get into that. But it doesn't really have good undertones to this stuff. And it's really old establishment, conservative, racist British thinking. And I'm not saying that's what people are like there, but that's what this movie has the undertones for. Actually, all of them do. And I'm noticing it more and more as I go. It's not just sexual innuendo. It's all about indoctrination of kids. And this is how we think. And this is how we behave. And this is good. And this is bad. I'm pretty sure that that's what this is, because you don't get that crap in Lord of the Rings or in Middle-earth stuff.
You're not understanding what the movie's about at all. It's about fighting that stuff, not about it's about fighting that.
I haven't seen them do much of the fighting of that stuff there.
I give up.
The teachers are pretty useless in this.
It's a great movie. They're all great. It's a great story. I like this one. This one is a more intermediate movie, though. it's kind of setting up. The last ones are almost one big thing. It's
They're
like
all
Dune
just
1
set
and 2.
up. None of these
It's
are
a big
great movies.
Story.
Yeah.
It's a big story. Anyway, I love it.
Yeah.
I think it's a good movie. Don't listen to Gregory because he's not paying attention and he doesn't know what the movie's about.
Look, I'm not trying to take away that you enjoy this. If you enjoy it, great, but I'm allowed to have my own opinion on this.
What you're saying about it is ridiculous.
Is it?
Yes, it is, because you never understand what the movies have been about at all from the beginning.
I think it's the opposite. I think I'm understanding these movies more than you are.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, I think it's great. I give this one a 92 just because it doesn't have as much of the story as some of the other ones, because it's more just leading up to what's happening, because it's more of a in between. It's necessary to get the story moving forward. But
it's been 5 movies of setup.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, I love it.
Okay, let me speak here, okay? You've gotten to speak a lot here. So this would be... I compare this.
On my phone now.
I compare this to some of the other movies. So in some of the superhero movies, just for comparison's sake, they make a movie and it's all just set up and trailers for another movie. We just watched not too long ago. We watched BVS, and all that is set up and trailers for other movies. I can say a bunch of others. Iron Man 2. That's all just set up for other movies. Amazing Spider-Man 2. Like, these are not good movies. You have to make a good movie and a good story. Now, are any of these movies bad? I wouldn't say so. They're not really for me, but I kind of find them, they're kind of lacking. I'm like, where's this going? I haven't seen a good contained story. Instead, it's all just dividing out this story. I'm like, get to the bloody point. You got to make good movies here, and that's why I've been kind of let down by all of these things. They're just kind of dragging it out too long, and I don't feel they have a good self-contained movie. And they should be, because these movies are incredibly long. They're like 2 hours, 40 minutes. This one's 2:18, which is the shortest one. And still, it's too long. It's very imaginative, but a lot of stuff, it's all symbolism and metaphor. Pretty much anything in one of these movies symbolizes something else, okay? It's not always a sexual reference, but there's a lot of that in there, I find, because it's all about these kids growing up and entering puberty and going through all these problems. I mean, even this one's all about Harry Potter being angry all the time. He's like, I'm so angry all the time. And a lot of young teenagers and young men, yeah, they are angry all the time. I mean, I'm an old man and I get angry all the time, but that more has to do with the pandemic stuff that we've lived through lately. I talked about that recently on my beef review and why that's so relevant. So overall, you said that you gave it a 92?
Yeah.
Because I had fun with this. I had fun with it, but it wasn't over interesting because it didn't get to the point. So it's like, come on, like, where's the story here? It's all like everything is just like Act 1 or like part of Act 2, and they never quite get to it. Whereas if I was reading a comic book or a book, you have to have a good story. So the story can be part of an overall arching story, like a big long story that goes through the comics or through a season of television, but you have to have individual good episodes. It's like, we're going to deal with this thing, it's going to get to the end, we're going to resolve this one issue, but other things are seeding about that's for the overarching story, and they're not doing a very good job of that for me. So because it's not really going anywhere, I give this a worst movie ever. Now, it's not the worst thing, but it's just kind of meandering. Where is this going? And clearly we're not on the same page when it comes to what everything in these movies means.
No, you're really irritating me about it. And Harry Potter fans unite. You haven't understood the story because most of the time you're on your phone. You don't know what it's about. What you're saying is clearly wrong.
I wasn't on my phone at all for this.
You haven't for the other ones, and you don't
put
understand
my phone,
what's happening.
Sometimes I look up how long it is or what the rating or an actor or something, but I'm off my phone for these movies. I'd like to put my phone down and focus on the movie.
You're exhausting me about it. It's a good movie. It's a good series. There's a reason why people love Harry Potter all around the world.
I'm not trying to take that away from people.
Because they're good. Anyway, I like the movie. I recommend the series. I recommend the books.
You know, this could be because you growing up, you're more British influenced, growing up on the East Coast, and me growing up in central Canada and Ontario, it's more American influenced than British. So maybe that's why you enjoy this more. Just a thought. Maybe I'm wrong on that.
Boarding school or anything like that. I just think it's a good story. And it's entertaining. And you don't know where it's going. And it's good.
Yeah, I still don't know where this is going, so...
I do. Anyway.
Yeah, because you've seen them all.
Yeah, but I didn't see them when I started them. And I enjoyed them. And I enjoyed reading the books. Anyway, I like the series. I feel you've been biased from the beginning about them.
I'm trying to have an open mind on it.
And that's why you call it Nap Time at Hogwarts, because you really don't like them and you hadn't even seen them. Anyway, I like it. I recommend the books. Read the books first and then see it come to life in the movies. That's my recommendation.
Or is this segment called Nap Time at Hogwarts? Because these are all the weird dreams we have while we're napping at Hogwarts. And this is the visions that we have, these weird movies. So
listen, I don't know what JK is as a person because I've heard some negative stuff about her, but she's a great writer and she has a great mind and it's a great series.
Okay, before I watch the next one, I'm gonna look up some stuff on JK Rowling because I've heard tidbits of stuff in the news and social media. But I'm gonna look up some actual articles and read up and see
there's been negative stuff about her
in
media, but.
Regardless, stuff about a lot of people.
She is a great writer and she has a great mind.
Okay.
So
I have no opinion right now on J.K. Rowling, but I'm going to look it up and then form my own opinion about that. And maybe this will confirm what I think about these movies, or maybe it will change completely what I think about these movies, and I'll realize I've been dead wrong on this, all these metaphors and symbolism in these movies.
Maybe you haven't.
However, that's possible. I don't think so.
I beg you Harry Potter fans out there, please tweet to Gregory and tell him he's all mixed up.
Yeah, leave a comment down below and tell me how wrong I am. Or do you think I'm right? You know, maybe I'm not the only one. Maybe there have been studies done on this. Maybe it's just me.
Even the Pope said it was good. So there you go.
Well, the Pope and the Catholic Church is all about sexual repression.
No, there was a problem because previously they were saying, I don't know if the Vatican or Church was saying that it was bad, and then the Pope came out and said no, it was good because it was good versus
Let's
evil.
not talk about the Catholic Church because they don't have a good public opinion, and I don't have a good opinion of them.
But you.
Not everyone. Okay, 78% critic rating on this one doesn't mean all the critics like it. It means 78% of them said something nice about it. So 22% of them said not a lot of nice things about it.
Can we move on?
You want me to read some of the...
No, you're just irritating the heck out of me.
Hold on, listen to this. Listen to this one top critic review. Traditional drama is usually a 3-act deal, setup, conflict, resolution, but this is a 3-act deal every 2 minutes. Danger, baddie, magic, danger, baddie, magic, danger, baddie, magic. It's as tired as it is tiresome. She didn't like it?
I like it. And it's good. That's my opinion on it.
Yeah.
Okay, can we stop talking about it? Because you're just making me mad.
You wanted to talk about these movies.
I don't want to talk about it the way you're talking about it. Anyway, please, Harry Potter fans, please unite with me and tell Gregory how mixed up he is.
I don't think we've gotten many comments on our Harry Potter stuff, so please leave a comment down below. You can always give this video a like if you enjoy, and you can subscribe for more content. And this was another great segment of Nap Time at Hogwarts. Dear, now it's time for another segment of Chakotay's Odyssey, featuring the adventures of Janeway.
Exciting. Oh, look. Fluffy's very excited. She's so tired.
So I saw episode 14 called Faces.
Faces, okay.
This one was interesting. This is all about the Vidians. Those are the leprosy aliens.
Oh, we saw them before.
Yeah, because they stole Neelix's lungs.
Right, that was...
Yeah, and they look terrible.
Yeah, they're all falling apart. I do remember
They constantly have to replace their organs, including their skin, because they have this phage virus that just eats away at them.
They're uncomfortable
this episode starts, so they're bringing them back, but the episode starts, we get B'Elanna, and she's a captive, and she's 100% Klingon.
Oh, they genetically put her back. Klingon,
so we get B'Elanna as a Klingon, right?
Okay, because she's half human, half Klingon, right?
Yeah. So that's the thing. Okay, so they tells her, "Hey, I made you into fully Klingon. There's no more human left in
Does she
you.
have a lot more rage issues?
Yeah.
Because she has rage issues.
And speaking is difficult with all the teeth and the prosthetics.
I was gonna say she's not speaking in that weird language from Discovery.
I don't think so.
That was so painful.
No, that is Klingon.
Yeah, but the way they said it was so slow. They just didn't deserve us to Klingon, which is so terrible. You know, that guy's in a movie now or a show, and I don't want to watch it.
Okay, we're not talking about Discovery. So, B'Elanna has been taken captive along with another senior officer, pretty boy Tom Paris.
Okay, is this when their love interest starts?
No.
Nothing
This is the classic episode where she gets split in two. So Tom Paris is with the other officer that we just saw maybe 1 or 2 episodes ago. Because after Seska left, they needed a new supporting officer. So they got this guy who looks like he's 30, who's already balding.
Where'd he
and
come from?
he's like 4 feet nothing. He was just another member of the crew.
Oh,
So they brought him up from the lower decks.
Okay, he got up from the lower decks.
Okay, so now he gets to make. Now he actually has roles and he gets
okay.
lines. Don't worry, he's the only one there, so he's
gonna get killed.
Yeah,
then.
so obviously he gets killed this episode. Because at one point the scientist who made B'Elanna into a Klingon, he's falling in love with her. I don't know why. So he goes out and gets the Star Trek guy. Oh, I need someone who's expendable. You're new. And they take his face and put it on his so that she'll feel more comfortable around him.
Probably falling. His nose is falling off or something.
Well, they look disgusting, right?
Yeah, they're hard to look at.
So
I do remember
they
that.
cut off his face and put it onto
not?
this alien guy. Because, that's a nice gesture. Why not?
Gross. It's like cutting to Hannibal Lecter type of vibes there.
It's like Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah.
So there's that going on. But also we find out there's another B'Elanna Torres.
Right, the human B'Elanna.
The human one is hanging out with Tom Paris.
And is she frightened of everything?
Yeah, she's sick.
Oh.
She's really sick all the time and weak. So what happens is Chakotay has to go rescue her.
Right.
And so instead of, say, go down to the replica and replicate, a mask and some gloves that make it look like he's an alien.
Right.
No, we're going to take you down to the sick bay and the doctor is going to genetically alter you to look like one of these aliens.
Yeah. Well, they love doing that in these shows.
Wouldn't that be a waste of resources, though?
No, they do that all the time. They always are.
Well, would you want to do that?
No.
I don't think that's
dangerous.
a good idea.
It sounds like it would cause cancer, but I'm sure they have the cure for cancer. I mean, they got the cure for most everything, but not this disease.
What if they can't put you back to how you were, and then you have to stay this ugly, leprosy-ridden alien?
Most of the time, they just turn you into a Vulcan or a Majoran or a normal kind of creature without parts falling off.
But in Orville.
Klingon.
In Orville, they're just using projectors to project an image.
Or Klingon.
That seems like less resources than to surgically alter someone.
It's really bad if you're a Klingon and you get turned into a human. That's when it's really bad.
Sure. So, okay, so who's gonna save them? Chakotay, because Tuvok's off busy being boring, and. Well, yeah, Harry Kim was helping them. Harry Kim and Tuvok and Chakotay were looking for them.
Okay.
So they're in these caves, but the caves keep changing. And it's not that. It's actually just a shield that they put up.
So they
can't get through it.
And how did they put...
So Chakotay gets to beam in somehow, because they use science after they genetically alter him. So he looks disgusting. So he gets in to rescue them.
Right.
And every time someone goes to get caught, he's just like, hey, man, I'm new here. I'm supposed to take these prisoners over here. Like, you want to give me a hard time? So he just BS's his way all the time. These aliens are really dumb.
If someone said that at our work, we wouldn't care. We'd say, okay, you're new, fine.
Yeah, we wouldn't care.
No, we wouldn't care. No one tells us what's going on.
So B'Elanna, Klingon B'Elanna escapes and teams up with her human self.
Okay.
And they're just fighting with each other, arguing and that all the time.
But what happens? Do they kill one of them, or how do they get merged back if they're two separate beings?
So they have a plan to escape, and what happens is alien Chakotay shows up with Paris, because he's the only one left, because the other guy's dead.
Okay.
He shows up while they're trying to bust out, because she's going to beam them out. She's going to disrupt the shield with science, and then beam them back to Voyager.
Yeah.
So instead of just running away into the caves, they
Oh, does she get transported back to one being?
No. So Chakotay and Paris meet up with them. Oh, you guys are escaping? Can we come? Great. So they escape, but Klingon Torres dies. So she was split into two people. One of them died, and so the human one is left. And the doctor's like, don't worry, I'm making you half Klingon again. That's why you're so weak and vomiting all the time. You need those Klingon DNA proteins in you. So he just zaps them back in her, and everything's good.
So the doctor can do that? The science is off. They needed that other guy.
But he genetically altered Chakotay to make him into...
but that's not physical.
Okay. However, by the time he fixes B'Elanna, Chakotay's already back. So Chakotay must have busted in. He'd be like, senior officer, fix my face first.
Just a physical thing.
So he had to do that first before he helped B'Elanna.
I think they should have kidnapped that Viridian scientist guy, because they don't really have a scientist. They should have kidnapped him and got him to turn B'Elanna.
No, they killed him.
I don't think they have the science for that.
No, I think he's dead.
Okay. Anyway,
so
it's
that
a bit lame.
That was another exciting episode of Chakotay's Odyssey, featuring the adventures of Janeway.
Okay.
Some viewer comments.
Okay.
But before we get to that, how can people get in touch with us besides leaving a comment down below?
Well, they can reach us at CanadaMovieTVHosers@gmail.com, or they can find us on Twitter at CanadaHosers. You can find Gregory on Twitter at St. John's Critic.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to get our attention on Twitter, you can use the hashtag CanadaHosers. And we'd love you to like and subscribe as well. Yeah.
If you like any of our videos, that will help us out. We post new content here all the time, so you can subscribe for more stuff that I post every week. If you send us an email, that's for submitting news topics, entertainment news topics, or if you want to suggest anything. So we did get a few, actually, on YouTube. Oh. We got another comment from our good buddy Mark Bigelow. He sent some fluffy kitty love there.
Oh, yeah.
So she appreciates that.
Yeah.
Then we got a comment from Turtle Girdle.
Yeah.
Commented and said, I've never heard the phrase, never read Stephen King before, when you reviewed Fairy Tale.
Never did.
Says, I recommend the Gunslinger series. I'd love to see a review of that tome. Don't see the Tower movie until you read the books. I did see that movie when it came out. It wasn't very good.
I didn't see the movie, but I'm interested in reading more. I did read another one, Mr. Mercedes. I'll talk about that on our next show.
Okay. If you want to do some more Stephen King book reviews.
So read that one.
Thanks for the comment there, Turtle Girdle, as well. Also, thanks, Mark. Good to hear from you again. GK commented on that same video. He said, please watch RRR movie.
Yeah,
it's amazing, and Oscar winner this year, action epic with the master of storytelling. Now, I did see this movie before we started doing this show.
Yeah.
I remember it being very long.
You really liked it, though.
I had a real fun time watching this.
I think you watched it when I was away in the summer or something.
From 2002, so it's on Netflix.
2020?
3 hours and 7 minutes.
2020, you mean? Not 2002.
Sorry, 2022. Did I say 2002? Man, that was a while ago. So it's over 3 hours. I had a really fun time watching this. I remember describing it as it's an epic action adventure, love story, soap opera.
That sounds exciting.
It's / musical dance off.
Okay, it's got everything.
Because I don't know if it's Bollywood or if it's just an Indian film. I don't know anything about those films, except that they're apparently sinfully long, is what I'm told. Now, this one's quite long. I think it took me 2 or 3 days to watch it. I had a really fun time watching RRR. I recommend you check it out sometime.
Yeah.
And I recommend everyone else check it out. I gave it a best movie ever.
I know, you really liked it.
Because it was really fun. And it's just got so much crammed into one movie.
Right.
So many different genres, and it's a great time.
Okay.
I mean, the action is way over the top. And then suddenly it busts into this story about these two guys and their brothers. But no, they're against each other.
I want to
and then suddenly it busts into a musical number and they're dancing. I'm like, what is going on? But I love it. Yeah.
Okay.
Good suggestion there from GK. RRR is great. And even Fluffy gets up and excited about it there, okay?
I'm currently watching Mrs. Maisel. So when I finish that last season that just came out, I'll try to check
Thank
it
you
out.
for the suggestion there, GK. Christine, you can give us your thoughts on RRR sometime.
Yeah.
Now, I haven't received any email topics, but I did receive a fun tweet a couple weeks ago from Pixel Fun. So thank you for your tweet there. He sent it to us, said, gift for you, zoom in, Pixel Fun. He took the new logo that I did.
Yeah.
And he changed it all. Okay, he said it was made with some DC Comics characters. Follow his appreciation. And I did follow them. So I took it, and so the logo, and he put in a bunch of DC characters. So the white pixels are like Justice League shots.
Right.
And then we got Reverse Flash there in yellow. I'm not sure who some of these other people are. Not sure who the ones in red are. Looks like there's Batwoman over there.
Oh, that's Batwoman, is that?
Yeah, there's Batman over there in the black, and then next to it is Batwoman. Then we got Flash. Yeah. I'm not sure this other woman here is red. Looks kind of like Jean Grey, but that's Marvel. This is, I can't remember the character's name, but we saw her in James Gunn's The Suicide Squad there. That alien lady, Morgatha or something. Mongra something. And look, there's Steve Trevor over there in white. I'm pretty sure that's Steve Trevor.
Oh, okay.
There's an old Wonder Woman.
Oh, I see that, yeah.
From
cool.
So anyway, that was fun. Thanks for sending that to us there, Pixel Fun. Appreciate that, and
it looks really cool.
Promoting your stuff there. I might put that up on the screen. So that was a fun time. So we got some nice comments from people. Thank you for sending those in to us. We always appreciate hearing from people, whether you agree with our opinions or disagree, because a lot of times we disagree on stuff. We disagreed on Man of Steel, definitely. We were at opposite ends there. You absolutely hated it, and I absolutely loved it.
But listen, it's moving up in the rankings as I watch more of these DC movies.
Yeah.
It's moving up from the lowest.
Well, I think
it's number 3 now.
I think we have 13 or 14 out right now. And then we're getting a new one with The Flash next month. So we're going to keep watching them.
Okay. Listen, if it wasn't for the Zachary Levi movies, I would say these movies are...
Shazam.
Yeah, Shazam was really good.
Yeah.
But they've been, like, not... Most of these are not the greatest.
Okay. So we're going to wrap it up here for today. And thanks for joining us. We always appreciate it. We're getting new viewers. And you can always send us messages and we might read them out. If it's appropriate, let's just keep it civil. Like I say, if you disagree with us, that's fine. Just let us know, like, why you like something or why you didn't like something. We always want to hear different opinions. So from all three of us, take care, everyone.
Bye.